guys, welcome to another Cleveland Moto fun-filled episode, but we're all in the same fucking place. Woo! How cool is that? Light them up, boys. Episode number 362, and they're off.
Is the red light blinking over there?
Yes.
And that's good, right? Yeah. So, since we last talked and y'all listened,
which was months ago.
Just ages ago. Yeah, well, we're back. We're all in one place. Apparently, COVID's over. I got the message, or at least,
I heard that from a Canadian trucker.
A Canadian trucker told me that COVID was over. I got an alert on my phone. I got an Amber alert on my phone that told me
Move to the front of the line.
Yeah, COVID was missing. Yeah, that was it. So, but here we are. So hopefully we don't all get sick. But maybe if we do get all sick, a few of us have already been sick. So fuck it. The to my left,
Oscar?
it works. It actually works again. It actually works again. Oscar got here a little bit early and couldn't keep his hands off the video game, the motorcycle Isle of Man.
Yeah, I had to just
fucking had to touch it. You had to get up in her guts, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought you were working on the soundboard.
No, that's Sleepy's jobs to fuck it up.
That's right. Exactly. Yep.
No, I mean the effects.
Oh,
booth.
the sound. Oh, no.
Yeah. And to his left,
Me, Steve, Sleepy. And, yeah.
What are you drinking there, Cinch?
I don't know. One of your Knob Creek.
what do you think? I don't know. Whatever showed up.
Yeah.
Something brown.
It was brown and on the table. I figured it had to be pretty good.
Figured it showed up. It's probably okay.
If it's brown, you're down.
Yep. Yeah. Fair game, man. Fair game. And then, which we're going to go into what you've been up to because, goddamn,
it's been an interesting
you've
week.
been busy.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Sleepy's got a lot going on right now, so we'll get into that in a minute. And to his immediate left,
Steve Hoffert.
I've seen more of Steve today than I've seen of Steve in years. Steve has been a literal frequent flyer at the shop today. And then to his left,
Johnny Mac,
who apparently has started an open mic career. Whoop, whoop. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll talk about that. And then to his left,
Dan Kromke.
And Dan, again, we thought you were just going to be late for the snowmobile ride that we did the other day, the ice racing, because you have a tendency to get things a little bit late. We waited till 9 p.m. and you never showed up.
Nope.
Yeah,
No, we didn't wait till 9. No, we didn't.
I was fighting off. I fell on the ice and hurt my shoulder and my neck, and it just seemed like a bad idea.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. And then
Christmas.
last but certainly not least, Christmas. Who are you waving at? Were we?
Renee.
Miss Renee.
Renee was leaving. Yep. Renee was leaving.
She's leaving.
she
She's
get
giving
out.
everybody the finger.
Yep, exactly.
She is real.
She's waving at us with one finger. Hey, Renee, can you actually get out of here?
Oh, shit.
Let us know which car needs to move. Yeah, because we may have parked her in.
All of them.
Yeah, we may have parked her in. It might have happened. So anyway,
Well, tough titties. You're here for the
Holy shit.
podcast.
I haven't worn these pants in a long time.
Yeah,
I just
okay.
had pants score.
oh nice.
Yeah, so-
That's it. There you go.
all
Right.
Wait,
One
is Johnny Mac going to pull out Cameron and start doing comedy shows?
yeah, he's gonna do
Cameron.
Comedy's more
It was
like
pretty
it, yeah.
funny watching him.
Yeah.
You got to call Cam up and do a little duet
Yeah,
kind of
there
thing.
you go.
know?
Sure.
He tells
sure.
the jokes and you add the wow.
Chicka, wow, wow.
Do a Tenacious D kind of thing, straight guy, not so straight guy. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Wait, which one?
Who's going to be who? I
I
wonder.
think you're the not so straight guy.
yeah.
They'll flip each week to see who's
Gaily
talking about it.
forward.
Proceed gaily forward, as the Honda manual would say. The absolute, I mean, as far as we're concerned, we did want to say just fucking thank you for the Patreon listeners who have apparently decided they could buy their way back into a live podcast. They figured that the Zoom casts were no bueno, and that they wanted it to get better again, and the best way to get better would be to throw some money at it, and guilt us into doing a better podcast. And so, yay! Thank you very much. We did get some new Patreon members. We got James Snell upped his pledge from $5 to $10.
Thank you, James.
Cool. Absolutely
man.
love that shit. That always makes me happy. Jerry Minikowski is setting the Patreon on fire with good questions and comments. We're going to go ahead and, kind of read some of his stuff a little bit later on. So it's been really fun that we're going into this, mid-February thing, and it's having a lot of fun.
I'm just happy to be out of the house because it's way too easy to drink too much when you don't have to leave.
Well, yeah, if you don't have to commute to and from the liquor,
No, 'cause
it comes on real fast.
I was editing the podcast and it was like an hour and a half in, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if I can just delete myself out of this."
You were pretty sloppy last week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard it.
I got
yeah.
a little hammered. Yeah.
Well, you're the only person in our podcast that last week got a very special text message for just you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And Liza Miller says, "Punch Sleepy in the dick." Doesn't say anything about anything else.
No, that's fine.
Just says, "Punch Sleepy in the dick."
So she likes me. She really likes me.
I went back and listened to the podcast.
Well, he made a lot of comments, so I don't know which one was the one that kind of.
There's the whole like, ha, we're fucking with Liza, and then there was you.
Oh.
And then you're like, oh, is it fucking with Liza hour? Oh, well, there you go.
I
It was
honestly,
like trying to start John's snowmobile.
well, for my defense, I had like 15 fucking beers. So yeah.
Well, and the other thing that's going to be interesting about this is because now we're in person.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot less people probably falling asleep. Probably.
Yeah, right.
Falling asleep. Yeah,
Negative.
exactly. Right.
I'm about ready to fall asleep. Right
Oh, damn it. We can throw shit at you from here, though.
I drank coffee before I got here.
That's a
Nice.
really good
We have
idea.
Sharpies. We can draw dicks
Well,
in
we
his
have
face.
there's coffee in the pot if you want to nuke some. That's
I took a
it's good
nap.
from today. I took a nap. I'll take
I like
another
day
one right
old
now.
coffee, actually.
Really?
I brew it and then I drink it the day after.
Yeah, it's
and I let
fine.
it sit out on the counter. I just think it tastes better.
So cold brew.
Cold
Kind of
brew.
lukewarm brew.
So the
Room temperature brew.
broom temperature. So for people who have been kind of paying attention to what the fuck we're doing in the wintertime, we have been riding motorcycles on ice. Or at least we've been adjacent to motorcycles riding on ice.
And to my left,
Exactly. And or we have been, okay, who here in this room now has a snowmobile? Who has more than one snowmobile? That's fucked up. Okay. Because the total snowmobile count on this podcast
Used to be.
for a very long time was 0.
No, I've had one for like 10 years.
Really? Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I have a 81 Skidoo 7500 plus.
Oh, you've had that already.
I've had it. I used to ride it, and then
Okay.
I threw it in the graveyard
sailboat.
Graveyard.
I was
of
going to say it's
broken
parked,
toys.
It's parked next to the sailboat. I know it. Yeah,
In
exactly.
the fucking bucket.
Yes,
BMW
exactly.
and the other BMW.
Yeah,
Well, we did get it running last week. John's.
he got it running last.
That's cool.
No, I said all of your hard work got it running.
Hey, man.
I
Again,
give you credit where credit is due,
I've-
and then you broke it, fucker.
the only
when you
time
rolled it over in the landfill.
Wow, that's saying something.
The fact that it was able to roll itself over in the last 10, is way better than it's been doing in the last 10 years.
Well, as a result of that, so who here at the podcast has now ridden a snowmobile?
Yeah, recently. Yeah.
Holy shit. Kromke, did you take one front spin yet?
Not since
You're
like 1980.
So he's the only one who didn't get.
But I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I know John bought the snowmobile.
He did.
But now it lives at my house. So does
Yes.
that actually make it mine snowmobile
Yes, it does.
too? Okay. Good. Yeah. So then I have
Possession
one
is
too.
9/10 of having something.
Does that have a license plate on the back of it?
No.
Sure, a snowmobile.
That's right.
Okay. All right. So if there's no way to tell from the outside that he owns it,
Yeah.
Fuck it.
survey says.
No title on a snowmobile either.
Oh, that's right.
There you go, buddy.
You can just grab his registration and take it in and make a fake bill of sale and say,
Yeah.
it's mine, and I just want to transfer the registration.
It
John,
wouldn't
are
even-
you listening to this?
It wouldn't even matter. It's the equivalent of a chainsaw. It doesn't matter. Look, it's his until it doesn't work, and then it's yours again.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Right. That's the way shit works
Yep,
around here.
yep.
Like, could you come over here and fix your snowmobile?
I'll
that
give
was
you-
your
Sucks.
That was your shit 5 minutes ago.
I'll-
Yeah, but then I broke it.
You couldn't even start the snowmobile. It's not going to be a problem.
Oh, the one day I came over to the place and everybody's looking for things to start the snowmobile with, and the whole rule was it had to be at least this long and sticky. So it had to be this long and sticky was the rule.
Because you had to
of-
wrap it around the fucking flywheel.
Right, because they broke the recoil starter.
the recoil.
So your new snowmobile has
Electric start.
power steering, heated grips,
Reverse.
thumb
warmers.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
AM, FM stereo.
Yeah, a button that you press on the dashboard and it deploys a Saint Bernard with brandy.
Bourbon.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's a special. I'm stuck.
And it actually has
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah.
compared to my old one.
Right, exactly. So that's fucking cool. So we've all now become, as we like to say here in the industry, just like I am a Suzuki wet bike expert. Mm-hmm. And anybody who's ever seen the video knows that I'm not a Suzuki wet bike expert. You guys are now all snowmobile experts. Mm-hmm. Thank you. As a result of the fact that we now have them in the group. Yeah. Fucking cool, man.
When he brought that thing over, when he told me he bought it, what was it? You said a 1990 or whatever?
Right. Yeah.
I was like, this thing's going to be whatever. That is the best $500 anybody's ever seen.
And that seat is so nice. That seat feels better than the brand new SSRs, dude.
That thing is the Pontiac Trans Am of snowmobiles.
Yeah. So good.
It looks like a cross between a Ferrari F40 and a Trans Am.
Yeah, because it's got all the Nakaducks. All of them.
It's got all the Nakaducks. It's got all the cool stuff. It's got that impossibly low aerodynamic windshield. Yeah. It looks like it's meant to go about 300 miles an hour. Yeah.
And cool. It moves. It moves fast.
Fuck yeah. Oh, it's peppy.
Yeah.
Again, it's everything we like. It's two strokes
and more.
Yeah. It has expansion chambers.
Smokies.
It's smokies. Mm-hmm. It does remarkably well in slush. Yeah. I was gonna say ice, but I had to retract that statement. No. I've never met anybody who could break ice. At a spiritual level. Ice was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ice just gave up on us. Yeah, it was pretty wild what happened the other day. So I'm glad you posted the video.
Yeah.
So our people can see the video.
Wait, I haven't seen the video. I've been dying, trying not to. I've been all right, I want to start busting his balls.
No, the video
There's massive footage out there, and where the fuck is it? But I wasn't going to say anything.
I push you on slow-mo, dude. You're slow motion, man.
There's some pretty hero shit.
I see that every day at work.
Yeah.
Hey, can you put them on fast motion at work for me?
Nice. Yeah, there's some pretty baller video. Sleepy's editing skills. Yeah.
It was just fun. It was just it was interesting to see because a lot of times you guys were grabbing the cameras and things. So it was interesting to see who was filming what and what was going on and stuff. And it turned out it was fun.
It did turn out great.
I was like, oh man, we should have he'd be filming me. I grab it and I can film myself and then turn it around and give it to somebody. Yeah.
Game on, man.
We'll get better at this.
The funniest part, though, if you guys haven't seen it yet, so I remembered that we filmed the wrap up where I talked to Oscar and I talked to Phil and I talked to John. So
well, we filmed it. We didn't audio record it.
Well, no. Here's the thing. So what had happened was when we were passing the camera back and forth, there's a little adapter that goes in the side, and it must have come out about 1/4 millimeter, so it didn't look like it was out. So then I grabbed the video file, and the video file always has a little audio file on it. It was just straight.
Just gone.
Nothing there. And I'm like, fuck. So as I was editing, my wife was sitting on the couch, so I'm just starting to talk shit over it. And she's laughing her ass off. And I'm like, oh, this gives me an idea.
Yes, it does. Yep.
So that ended up working out pretty good, I think. That was
little
fun.
Mystery Science Theater style. Yeah, that was pretty good. I appreciated that. I thought it was good.
So I got to find the video then.
Yeah, it's out there. It's at Moto Stories with Unkie Phil.
Yeah. It's not hard to find.
If you don't, I don't go there.
Yeah, you need to subscribe, motherfucker.
Dude, the video should be.
Do I have to subscribe? Oh,
it's the John show for most of the video.
It is. It really is. Yeah. You do the intro and all.
I just want to see you at the very end, just trashing my snowmobile, trying to fucking sink it to the bottom of the pond.
It is there.
Good.
There is no shortage, and the more that you go through, if you watch this fucking thing, if you see it and you kind of take a minute to watch this thing, you'll realize that it actually is funny on different layers because at some point, most people don't realize how many times I nearly ran into you. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you legit, you were coming hell bent for leather, and I keep remembering that on ice, neither one of us can stop.
Nope.
So I'm like, oh, he'll slow down. And oh, wait, he can't slow down. He legit straight up can't slow down.
No.
So I thought it was really funny. I was just getting a big kick out of it. So the video's fantastic. We do have an OSHA violation that's captured on camera as John is welding with his welding monocle. Yeah.
His safety squints.
Right. Paul, do you have any great poupon?
He even tells you he tried several different things and none of them worked.
It starts without anything.
2 sunglasses was worthless.
2 sunglasses welding.
Right there.
Yeah, there you go. Now, that shit's going to work. Even his kids are blind now.
No,
So
you got
that's
the monocle.
Look at my eyes. I look like I just smoked a joint. I'm
You're
like,
so burnt after
wow.
that. That is the worst idea ever. So now he's got
Oscar's in the back making drinks.
There's a lot of activity in that garage. I mean, a lot of shit's happening considering how cold it was, considering, what we're up to. But that weld, I was amazed at how good that weld was.
It held.
It did. It was remarkable. So well
For
done.
a while.
Well done. I mean, weld done. So
I think the weld goes out.
Yeah, so there you go. And that's like the best, any video in the world that involves somebody welding is like History Channel / Discovery Channel.
Yep.
Like, oh, can you make sparks? Yeah.
I grabbed the wrong camera, though. The other one was set to slow or at 60p, so I could have slowed it down. I should have slowed it down.
It looks great. It's great the way it is, but it is super fun. And the funny thing is, I want to just say that we don't give enough credit to how just fucking stupid we are. But so I'm going to pass this around to our group because I really think that every one of us needs to hold this in their hands.
Okay.
Because this right here, that right there, that's the only difference between this shit doesn't fucking work and oh my God, I'm having fun. That is one of the screws.
Sharp as fuck, dude.
So that is one of those carbide screws that we put in the tires. It is shorter than hell, like nobody would ever appreciate. But when you get that and 320 of its buddies together, you can have some fun. And I would have told you that wheelies on the ice were somewhat improbable because they're not easy on the dirt on those bikes. Like these bikes are not like, they're a longer swing arm. They don't really super like to wheelie. You really got to work for it. But on the ice, you can see I was able to pull some pretty fucking great wheelies.
You leave when I asked you how the ice was, and you're like, not good.
The ice is garbage.
And then you hit it, and it was like,
the fucking bikes hook up like mad.
And you know what's impressive too is after all that debauchery, I was looking at the bikes because they're in the garage, and there's no screws missing.
No,
like none of them came out.
These little things for having the littlest shank, like there's the tiniest amount of actual thread there. There's maybe like 3 turns. Right? There's maybe 3 turns. How that hasn't come out by looking at it, I have no fucking idea. But the fact that those have all held in under John, under me, under 9 million wheelies.
And that's like 2 turns. Like barely 2 turns.
Yeah. You put those things in and you're like, oh, I can't believe it's in already. But yet they remarkably don't.
I've heard that before.
I know, right?
Jimmy Bohorn has a song called "Is It In?"
Is it in? And this is a good example of right. This is a really good example of like. There's about an Irish amount of thread on this thing. So yeah, rock on. Oh, there you go. Yeah. That's humbling.
Wow.
That's good. I did it later on trying to get out the other side. I was trying to get out the other side and I dug myself in just because the snow was, you couldn't hook up in the deep snow.
You were making holes
just
through
made a
the
hole.
ice all over. Yeah.
In the deep snow, the bike just kept getting lower and lower and lower until I just got tired and fell down. But
it's a lot of fun.
For those of you who are interested, I did find some awesome deals on Zambonis. Yep, there you go. So that's just that. That's my example of just having so much fun.
It was a good day.
But I will have to say, you guys noticed as the more that we were drinking.
Yeah.
So we recorded some podcasts. We did some fun stuff, and then I saw people. The tomfuckery kept going. So because the jackassery kept going, I was like, oh, I got to get out there. So I went out with no helmet on, no nothing.
Yeah.
And like on my 5th lap, I'm like, wow, okay, so this ice is about 30% garbage.
Yeah.
I've been told the lake is at least 14 feet deep on the shallow end, the pond.
No, in the middle.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that number was fresh in my head.
Yeah.
And I was like, no helmet.
Yeah, we did it backwards. Instead of gear at the beginning and then putting the helmet on.
I was fresh from the fire.
Yeah.
I was all warmed up.
Yeah, right.
I had no jacket on. I had fuck all for gear. I had that Russian fur burger hat on. That's it. And that was it. That was like DOT rated fur burger. Yeah. And I was driving around. I was like, I don't care. I'm having fun. This is fucking so
way
cool.
Too fun,
it was so much fun. So God bless us,
and
man.
then, here's something I didn't think about.
Yeah.
So you guys will see on Motor Stories. So my neighbor's cool. He came over.
Oh, I look like a James Bond villain in this video, by the way. I look like the guy who leaves the little dove pins on everybody. Perfect.
Yeah. But here's what I didn't think about, and that's what
Mr. Wynn? Was it Mr. Wynn?
Mr. Kid, Mr. Wynn?
Yeah.
But if you go back to the moment, and so he comes up and he's talking to us, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, do you want a painkiller? And he was like, oh, it's a Sunday. And then you were like tiki drink.
Tiki drink.
I didn't even
No,
think
he was
about
thinking
it.
narcotics.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure he was like, oh, great. So they're a bunch of pillheads. And then you're like this. He was like, I'll have one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he thought you were going to give him some kind of patch to put on his arm or some shit.
Here, you want an oxy?
There's your slow-mo shot. Check that
look
out.
at that, John.
Yeah. That's some 100% hero badger shit right there.
I need to get up on the seat.
If they still sold badgers, they could sell more badgers with your video. Yep. Yeah.
There's Phil in all his dot glory.
Oh my God! Yeah. No, that's you notice I keep falling through the ice.
holes everywhere.
Every time I sat on the seat, I fell through the ice again. That's why I said you guys broke that ice. You broke the ice spiritually. Like it can't even put it in a cocktail anymore because it's not ice anymore.
I can't even barely get in.
No, it's all like that is just a big fucking Slurpee. It's just a big bad flavored Slurpee. Yeah,
And
that's
yet
all it is.
somehow none of the vehicles are at the bottom of the lake, so we did good.
Despite your best effort to sink the snowmobile,
multiple times.
Now you need a big
but
piece
I
of
would
rubber,
be
like a
totally.
big heavy piece of rubber.
Yeah.
And some rosebuds.
What?
When you run the rosebuds, like right in front of the
Rosebuds?
No, for like heating
Rosebuds?
asphalt.
Oh! You mean like a asphalt
Zamboni.
burner? Yeah. Right.
But you just-
Flamethrower.
Then you put it on that
Right.
four-wheeler and you
Yeah.
just drag with that huge piece
Yeah.
of rubber behind it.
Or
Levels it all out.
Or-
smooths the ice.
we
What
could
other
talk
options are there?
We could talk about Cleveland Moto's new Patreon level. It's the Zamboni level. So for just $10,500, you can get us a gasoline-powered Zamboni.
And that would be sitting at the bottom of Cinch's Lake.
This 2001 Zamboni 520 ice resurfacer is completely rebuilt, fully serviced, gone through setup, and ready to flood. Good mechanical condition, $10,500. And you know what I've noticed is they're all in Winnipeg. I did find another one in Regina. So, but
You won't be able to find a trucker to bring it down here.
That's
though.
also true. Well, we know where they are. So that's it. We could pay
Up there
them
with
cash.
the DJ.
Well, snow season's over anyhow. So
Well, this is true. But I did discover that I bet you didn't know that they make a Zamboni for the home gamer.
Do they?
we did not.
I will call your attention to screen number 1, and I will produce for you the Zamboni Model 100. So if you have a garden tractor, you can have a Zamboni Model 100. And that goes on the back of your standard run-of-the-mill Cub Cadet or Dear John or whatever it is you got going on.
I got a blue Ford just like that.
You got a blue Ford just like that. So you can see that is an upright, man-portable Zamboni. That's a Zambo. Or what do they say? Do you ride a bony? Mm-hmm. Can you drive a
Floor
bony?
scrubber.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I'd like to call attention to our Patreons. So our Patreons have had, well, I did not realize that our Patreons had such a diverse fucking lifestyle. So it turns out that some of our Patreons are,
Hockey players?
well, they might be.
Do you play
Ice
hockey?
dancers?
So John McGuire writes and says, hey, try using an industrial floor buffer for the ice. Not
they have
a
a water
bad
tank.
fucking suggestion. And then he proceeds to give me links upon links for various different devices for ice fuckery, including snowboards and skateboards with no wheels underneath that are designed just to be dragged behind other things on the ice.
Oh, yeah.
Not too shabby. Again, we have all this stuff. Various different things, but he's a Chicago lander, but I think he might have just a streak of snow back in him because he's definitely got the 411 when it comes to sub-zero temperatures.
I have one word for him.
Yeah.
The Penguins.
The Penguins. So that's all legit.
You know, one of the things I was thinking about, if we had power down there,
Yeah.
setting up a big fan because
to blow the...
to make it freeze better because like wind makes it
moving it
freeze
back.
a lot better.
That's a good
So
idea.
having like one of those big industrial oscillating fans just waving across the whole pond.
I completely right. That's a good idea too.
Well, it's
And-
supposed to go to 17 tomorrow night. And if that happens and stays all night with the amount of rain we're getting right now, that'll be a flat
It'll
lake.
at least make it hard, but it won't make it thick enough.
Well, it's still
Right on.
not gone though yet.
yeah.
Well,
The problems are the
I'm with
holes
you.
that we made, though.
I'm also enthusiastic. I'm also
Exactly.
realistic.
Right. Yeah. That's it. So anyway, so here we go.
My kid used to play hockey, and I coached the hockey teams.
Yeah.
And we used to go to Halloran Park in Cleveland, where it was an outdoor.
Absolutely. Outdoor rink. Yeah.
But the birds would nest up in the rafters and they'd shit on the ice. And when the Zamboni would go around, it would leave like the bird poop and a little lump.
Oh, really?
So you're practicing, backwards, like going as fast as you can backwards, doing your crossovers. You hit one of those lumps, you're like right into the board.
That's what I
You're done.
remember, because when I was a kid growing up, we'd play hockey by my house, and same thing, the ice rink, the fire department come out and flood it, and that was the last attention it ever got. It was up to the citizens to keep it skatable. But that's the whole thing, is I remember being out there the first time I had single runner skates, and I'm going like a bat out of hell, and like find one imperfection, one acorn, like whatever it might be, hits the ice, boom, you're down. That's how I put my chin through my skin. So I got 7 or 8 stitches when I was a kid. Yeah, because of ice skating. So big fun right there. Check this piece of shit out. Check this thing out. I bet you didn't even know this thing existed.
I didn't know it existed.
This thing's called a trail tamer. And no, it's not a genital grooming product. It isn't from the fine folks at, Landscaper, right? But yeah, so this thing's like literally, this is 100% straight, half snowmobile and half zero-turn mower. So you stand on the thing on the left side of the screen.
Pretty cool.
So you stand on that thing, and then the tracky tracks are in the front doing their business, and then you got some handlebars in front of you. And it's just like a, one of them highfalutin lawnmowers, but you stand on the back. Yeah, so your weight becomes the thing, for compressing the snow and whatnot. So that's kind of fucking cool. I thought that was kind of neat. It's a little pricey at the, $8,950.
You got to buy a $9,000 trail groomer to ride your $500 snowmobile.
What I think is hilarious. How about this? Did you guys notice that the price of that thing is $8,950, but shipping is only $30?
Yeah.
It's only this big.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you know they're gonna send you that Volkswagen minivan version of what the fuck. Yeah, that's a bad deal right there. So, you guys, now that we're talking about ice, I don't know if people watch the national news. But Ohio,
yes,
at least Hudson, Ohio. Hudson, which was only famous for 2 things, really.
Snobbery.
No, I would say the Hudson Haunted House.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we were kids growing up, you couldn't listen to MMS for more than 9 seconds from I'd say mid-August till, mid-November without hearing an advertisement for Hudson Haunted House, the scariest haunted house in America. Right. If you make it all the way through, we'll give you half your neighbor's money back. Right.
And a clean diaper.
Then the Hudson Haunted House was legend. Nice out. So it was like one of the things that we knew about Hudson.
Yeah.
Right. And we knew that. And then also kind of, we also knew that you could go skiing there. Like it was a Metro Parks thing, and that was great. But now, my friends, Hudson, Ohio is going to be famous for something totally different.
Infamous.
Apparently, there has been I'm just going to say, a pandemic of frosty prostitution that I didn't even know about.
It was the greatest moment of what is it called? C-SPAN or whatever.
Yeah. And the funny thing was, this shit showed up in like 11 of my news feeds.
Yeah.
Nationally.
Yep.
International. It was on Al Jazeera.
People laughing their ass off.
Because of
The mayor of Hudson deemed hit not.
Now, I'm going to say this just because I want to say it. We live in a place where just to our north, we have a piece of water that is the actual size of Armenia. Look that shit up.
54 miles across from here to the Leamington.
Yeah.
And that's the closest you can get to land.
We live next to a body of water that is the actual fucking size of Armenia. Now, you are, believe it or not, allowed to go swim in that anytime you want. If you have the proper licensing, you can go fish in it anytime you want.
Sail.
You can sail. You can boat. You can jet ski. You can scuba.
Can you wet bike?
You can. Well, you might.
If you
I can. Well, I can once.
Yeah.
Enough to win, but that's it. But here's the thing.
Look for the Lake Erie Monster.
You can look for the Lake Erie Monster. Here's another thing. You can swim naked. Totally legal. There's
As I found out.
There's a lot of things that you can do in Lake Erie that fall under. We're in Ohio. You have a lake.
Fair use.
Fair use. Go enjoy the lake, right? They're very liberal when it comes to using the lake.
Sure.
They do. I've grown up. I've never lived in my life. I've never lived more than about 900 feet away from that water in any home I've ever bought or owned or whatever. I've always lived pretty close to the lake.
And since you do,
Yeah.
you cannot live more than a mile away from it.
Exactly.
Because you always smell it. It
As a
keeps
child,
everything cool.
Yeah, as a child, I knew that no matter, I was like a refrigerator magnet. I automatically pointed towards the lake. I knew that's where north was. No matter where I went, that device, that giant puddle up there, kept me literally aiming north. So here's the weird thing. I've grown up ice fishing. I've grown up putting my bicycles on the ice. I've ridden my bicycles as a child off a ramp into Lake Erie at various velocities. I've lost a few bicycles in Lake Erie. I've lost a few garbage pick bicycles in Lake Erie. I've lost my mom's bicycle in Lake Erie. It's remarkable what's at the bottom of Lake Erie, not far from any place I've lived. But here's the funny
hundreds
thing.
and hundreds of wrecks, too, that you could explore
Right.
if you dive.
And
And-
bodies too.
As kids, we used to go out ice fishing on Lake Erie. And it's not complicated. It's not high tech. You need an auger or a sharp stick. And then you go out and you don't need a fancy ice fishing rig. But if you do, they have those at back then, Gold Circle or Best or whatever.
Uncle Bill's.
Uncle Bill's, yeah.
They had that shit for under $20. They get the little tip and towel.
Yeah, those are awesome. Those
They
things
work
work
great.
really well.
You can set up 6 or 7 of them. And then you can just go have a beer with your friends. And then boop, boop, there's fish at the end of those lines. Ice fishing's fun.
But the fish are all like on barbs.
Well, they are.
And they're
Yeah,
all
exactly.
like so lethargic and you
Well,
need it,
again,
like
it's ice fishing.
Yeah.
Everything moves slower.
and it's basically ice drinking and eating.
Exactly. And when I was a kid, we could drive to the end of the street by my house. We could drive cars onto the ice, and people would drive back and forth to Canada on Lake Erie. Yeah. Because gas was cheaper here, groceries were cheaper here. So every once in a while, you see a car with Ontario plates pulling up to, the Giant Eagle or whatever. So here we have it. Actually, it was pick and pay
43
back
miles
then.
to the island.
Right. So here's
from our
a
house.
thing. But do you know what was never a problem ever?
Do you say?
Prostitution.
Prostitution. What? I know you guys are probably thinking right now, boy, that was a long walk for a $20 blowjob. But
They were cheaper back then.
Dude,
did you hear me adjust? I did. I adjust for cost of living.
the only thing that would make this story better is if the mayor, when he said it, had that thing from Always Sunny in Philadelphia with Charlie with all the lines,
Oh, the lines,
trying
yeah.
to connect all the shit
Yeah.
together. Because like the way he connects this is so
So-
fucking bizarre.
Here's the thing. They will not allow ice fishing because, wait for it, ice fishing leads to ice shanties.
Right.
And they
then
won't allow ice shanties because ice shanties leads to prostitution.
Obviously.
And prostitution leads to an increase of manpower needed by the police force.
And that's exactly it.
And global warming.
And that was exactly
And
what they
global
said.
warming.
They said that because of the stress it will put on their law enforcement agency in Hudson, Ohio, they will not allow there to be ice fishing because ice fishing leads to ice shanties and ice shanties lead to prostitution.
Did you
Now.
did you see Kevin Moore's post today?
I did not.
So Kevin Moore, our buddy,
He lives out that way.
Kevin
He lives
Moore,
out that way.
Right. He went to visit this old guy about getting a car, as
Yeah.
he does.
As he does. That's what he does. Yeah.
And he's a 70-year-old dude. And he's like, I want to show you something.
Right.
So he went to the Hudson shack that is the entrance to that lake.
Yep.
And he installed a red lantern. And it's burning, and it said ice fishing this Saturday at 8 p.m. open.
Nice. So I just, that tells me that somebody has a very elevated view of what ice shanties are. Okay. So there is no such thing as a 3-star ice shanty. The best ice shanty in the world is half star, right?
There's no place. You have to bring a cooler to sit on.
Exactly. And the other thing about ice shanties, no matter how good your ice shanty is, you're very rarely alone in it. So any oral that's happening is already something the police aren't going to be worried about. Okay? There's already a lot of sex happening in ice shanties. You know who never calls the cops? People who are having sex in ice shanties. Do you know the best guarded sex on the planet is sex that's currently happening in ice shanties?
Probably so.
If there's sex happening in ice shanties, paid for or gratis, nobody knows about it outside of the parties involved.
I haven't seen it on Pornhub.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you, if there's not a Pornhub channel, it doesn't exist. Ice shanty sex or ice shanty weekend or,
Did anybody really look that up?
Right.
But now that we
Did
said
anybody really look
Yeah,
that
when's
up? though?
next week?
www.frozeniceholes.com.
You don't want to be the person on the bottom either. Because your ass sticks to the ice.
But now, here's the thing.
speaking from experience.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
What about
exactly.
shrinkage too? You're gonna try to.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Right.
The worst scenario.
This is like trying to shoot pool with a piece of rope. There's no way in hell. Okay, so I'm supposed to visualize this. It's 5 degrees Frankenstein. Okay?
If you're
so
lucky.
it's 5 degrees Frankenstein if you're lucky.
Boy.
You're out in what can best be described as Home Depot's cheapest shed
Right.
with a hole in the ice. At least 900 feet from fuck all.
Also, think about what you're wearing. Usually, like long johns, underwear,
At
thing.
least 14 layers.
Yeah.
You could probably tell somebody's gonna have sex if you hear.
77 zippers. And do you know how short your dick is after 5 layers?
Right.
You're not going to get any penetration.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Fucking go back to
I know how
fishing.
short my dick is with no layer.
Again, do you know how I know there's no ice prostitution? Do you know how I know there's absolutely no ice happening in ice shanties for money? I'm not saying there's no sex in the champagne room.
Right.
I'm telling you there is absolutely sex happening in ice shanties. I guarantee it. I know there is.
It's mostly single guys.
Do you know
sex.
who else knows there is? The mayor of Hudson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows a little too
busted.
much. And the fact that he was so emphatic about it, about it, that tells me
Probably
that
the only
he's
one
had
that's
more
gotten
than one
any.
ice fishing
Yeah,
buddy.
exactly.
He's been out there banging hookers in ice shanties.
Yeah.
Not hookers. Not hookers.
Other guys with bait?
Other guys that are away from their wife and kids for the weekend. Other guys who are away from their job, or other guys that are.
So you're saying that an ice shanty is like a rest stop?
I've spent a whole lot of time in my life out on the ice, and do you know what there's not on the ice? Do you know what people would be talking about for 20 years?
There's not a lot of women out on the ice.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's exactly right. The point
And
is,
the ones that are like, hey, how are you?
but the point is, in my entire time of being on ice, I have never once, I would still be talking about it to this day, not only if a woman that looked like a whore was sending a message that she was in business.
Yeah.
You can't get a pizza delivered to ice. I've tried. Let alone,
Much less a 20.
how are you going to tell? How are you going to tell Vito the John where to send Rebecca?
Yeah.
And so she ends up at the right ice shanty to collect her $65.
I'm just imagining it as Cadillac sedan DeVille cruising around the
Big
ice
chandeliers.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, like in Escape from New York.
Dude, got four Vogue. You got four Vogues and 100 spokes, and he's rolling low. Shows up and he's like, "All right, Candy, get out there and earn my money." Yeah, no way. Put on your fucking crampons and get out there on the ice and earn Daddy his money.
Wait, that would be the pimpin' snow machine.
That would be the pimpin' snow machine.
We gotta make like
There
the
is
pimp
no
machine.
way in hell. But then when cornered, when the media smelled chum in the water for this mayor that made this extraordinarily bold declarative statement, and mind you, I'm gonna say it. This mayor's paid for sex before.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
This guy knows what he's talking about. But here's the trick. He said that before he was a mayor, he was a television personality.
Oh.
Did you know that?
No.
No. So before he was a mayor, before he entered into the high-risk world of Hudson politics,
He was the Warren, Ohio's, what do you call him, anchorman?
I wonder if he did an expose on prostitution in ice shanties.
he said that in his career as a newscaster, it was not uncommon to hear about prostitution in ice shanties. So I did a deep dive into the news from various different cities in Alaska
Okay.
where they would have such a thing.
Yeah, because
And Minnesota,
right, where the shanties could be up for 6
where
months.
they have
or
10,000 lakes.
Yeah, right.
Theoretically, then
And the
10,000
mosquitoes can
prostitutes.
survive minus 11.
10,000 shanties.
10,000 shanties. I could not find a single case of a prosecution resulting in prostitution on the ice.
They just don't have the police power to control it.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And it's clearly an epidemic because I couldn't find one fucking news story about it either.
I think your biggest argument against it is that I've gone ice fishing a number of times, And there are no women out on the ice.
I'm going to say,
I mean, there are no women at all. I mean,
if I ever saw a woman ice fishing, we would be talking about it to this day.
Yeah.
You could take it in a different direction and make it like Amsterdam.
Yep.
And be like, the lake is the red light district. This is where prostitution can happen.
Exactly. And it
out
would
away
still-
from the mainstream.
And it would still require no law enforcement
None.
at all.
Yeah.
You
But
just
then the
let it
Coast
fucking
Guard would have to
happen.
rescue them all when the ice is floating to Canada.
But the point is, I think what happened is this guy came home one day with a little lipstick on his dick,
Yep.
and he had some splaining to do.
Yep.
Right?
Or he got
had some
overcharged and was
splaining
like,
to
fuck
do.
this bitch.
I think he had some splaining to do. And I think that his wife,
Are you sure it was lipstick or chew?
well, and that could be the other thing. Right? I think maybe it might have been a deal where it's like, no, honey, I was on the ice all weekend with the boys.
That would be painful.
Oh, really? Right.
A chick giving you a blowjob with a dip in? Ooh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got home. I think he got home and he had some sort of evidence of some sort of misconduct. And his answer was, well, honey, I was on the ice all weekend. Nothing could have possibly happened.
Wasn't my fault. Goddamn prostitutes are all over the place.
Exactly.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Right.
They're
That's
like
exactly.
flies on shit out here.
They were taking my piss.
No.
We got to
No.
stop this, honey.
I don't think there's any chance in hell. And the fact that he said it, but here's my favorite thing.
With a straight face, he said.
How about this? How about we just all agree as humans? We all just agree that when we say something stupid, we stop, we walk away from the microphone and we go, that was stupid.
That was stupid, yeah.
Quit doubling down on shit. People, stop doubling down on dumb shit. I know that we all say dumb shit. We all say dumb shit. When we say dumb shit,
Just let it go.
just let it go. Just walk away.
The
go
double
home,
guns, you have to go, gotcha,
Just go
and
home.
walk away.
Just go home. Stop doubling down on shit that is patently stupid. This guy doubled down on something that was patently stupid.
Yeah.
I think if we went back and looked at his entire career of newscasting, wherever the fuck he might have been. And again, I'm allowing Wisconsin and Minnesota as being options where there might be some ice fishery and shack nastiness. Pandemics of blowjobs happening
Dan-
in ice shanties.
Dan, in all your ice fishing, you've ice fished, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered a prostitute?
Or a female.
Not once.
No prostitute.
And he didn't even give that kind of like, no.
No,
He-
honey.
He legitimate straight up. I mean, if he was lying, we'd all know, right?
Have you
He's
ever
a bad liar.
encountered alcohol on the ice?
Had what?
Encountered alcohol on the ice.
Every single time.
Have you ever
100%.
encountered a grill out on the ice?
A woman.
Yeah.
You've ice fished with a woman?
I've seen women ice fishing in Wisconsin.
Right,
yeah.
right, exactly.
And I just found a place that delivers pizza to your ice shanty.
I know.
It's the Donna Schwaben.
But here's the crazy
So
part.
pizza's code word for BJ?
Well,
Is that what I'm saying?
Anchovies.
Do you want
If
the
you order anchovies,
Anchovies.
if you ordered double anchovies. I saw that movie, Loverboy. Yeah, right. But here's the trick that I'm absolutely 100% certain of. Had there ever been a target-rich opportunity for prostitution, we would know, because we would all be talking about the prostitutes at Mid-Ohio.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's RVs. There's thousands of men with thousands of dollars, all in one place. Would you rather have a frozen coochie, or would you rather go to AMA Vintage Days and
Have a
leave
sweaty
Oily.
and leave with a Vincent Black shadow?
two-stroke.
So to speak.
Fucking
Covered
seriously.
in mud.
Seriously, if you
Mud
were
boners.
if you were a bad prostitute, if you were like a $17 prostitute, you could be a $90 prostitute at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, it's location,
You're like-
location.
Frostbite
You
or two-stroke
wouldn't even
oil
have
smell?
to get dirty.
Well, I mean, and the thing is not to be
You
shown.
could just go to the nicer campers.
Right,
Stroke,
but like-
of course.
but for any
There's
ladies,
cherry stuff.
even not prostitutes, like just a normal like woman that wants to go to Mid Ohio.
More play than they can handle.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're like a 4,
Liza got 7 phone numbers.
right? If you're a 4 in the real world, you're
Girl can.
11 at Mid Ohio.
No, for real. It doesn't know. That's not even playing around.
No, yeah,
Yeah, I've
That's
been to
true.
Mid-Ohio with various different ladies, and it's like you can't walk down the aisle with a woman that's wearing an 11-pound wedding ring. They don't give a fuck. Like, I mean,
Wolf whistle.
yeah, after Friday night at maybe 8 or 9 o'clock, 18, 26 beers in them, these guys are straight up assholes. Like, it's not cool. It's pretty thick.
No, we did all right though with the short bus when we had it down there with the.
Again, the door on the short bus was open for 11 seconds, and we had people on the roof doing stripper pole action. Like, it's goddamn unhinged. It is straight up unhinged. If I were a prostitute looking to make
But the mayor of Hudson was there too.
$30,000 the easy way, I would just go to Mid-Ohio and only go to the nicest RVs.
The Jurassic Classic
Yes.
would be another place that would be.
There you go.
And that's probably really going on there, I would think.
But the point is, no. Outside of drowning worms, nothing's happening on the ice. I'm sorry. If you guys read the news story and you got some kind of great thing, like there was some actual real prostitution, I'm not saying there's no sex on the ice shanty, because there probably is sex in the ice shanty.
You know what? I'm going to correct you.
Yeah.
Because 20 people got fucked on the ice last weekend when the ice floe broke loose at a south wind and were blowing them towards Canada, and they had to be rescued by the Coast Guard.
Man. Every year.
But even in Hudson, this didn't involve Lake Erie.
Right.
This involves some little pond
These
that
are
they have about the
ponds.
size of
These are
Cinch's
ponds.
pond. It's like, where's the anonymity there?
There's no anonymity, and also there's eagle cams everywhere.
Yeah.
So you could just be like, if you see, Slutty Sally walking out in her fucking, catch me, fuck me pumps.
Yeah.
And she's got on her, her crampons on her 6-inch heels. Yeah.
It's like, like dun, dun, dun,
Looking like a
dun.
fucking weirdo T-Rex. And she's going out on the ice. All the eagle cameras are going to catch it. Whatever. It's just a silly, stupid thing. Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like,
And they won't give blowjobs to the cops for free. That's the source of the problem.
That's the deal. Yeah, the cops want to cut on the action. I don't. I just think it's one completely unhinged mayor that just realized he said something stupid. He could not come up with a good reason to not let people fish in the winter. And that's all it was.
On his pond.
On his pond. Yeah. That's what it was. He
So
just
go
didn't
fuck
wanna-
your hat.
Yeah, go fuck your hat. Exactly. Yeah. Weekend hooker. That's pretty good. Weekend hooker. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Our new T-shirt.
Not since Canadian man of action Bud Ford has somebody fucking literally said some stupid shit the way this guy did. And it's all snow based anyway. So yay, that's really fun. I thought we'd have a good time with that.
Did you read the whole article about those people? It's like, so they were all on ATVs. Some of them had like 700s. What happened to the ATV? Are they just in the lake now?
They save you. They don't
So
save
there's a
your-
rule about that.
Yeah, John and I were trying to figure out how we could
Go get them.
locate them and
An airboat. If you had an airboat, you could get out there. And,
So every year,
They'd probably float. with
every
the
year
tires.
there's people that get fucked over, and every year the Coast Guard goes out and picks them up, and every year the Coast Guard people say this helicopter is really expensive. All of us are really expensive. If we fall through the ice and die saving your stupid ass, that's really expensive. So here's the rule: we're picking you up, and we're picking you up, but all your shit stays down on the ice. And if you go back later to pick up your shit,
we're not picking you up.
oh no, we're going to pick you up, but you're going directly to jail. And we're going to send you a bill for this rescue operation. Now, the way it stands at the moment, because this has happened to one of my neighbors, is if you're on the ice and if your snow machine falls through the ice, or if your jet ski falls through the ice, or if you're whatever. Now, the jet skis get lost in the harbor. But the point being, you're given a bill by the EPA.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so the EPA bills you for the fact that you've now introduced a bunch of oil and a bunch of gas to our pristine watershed.
Pristine.
Yeah. But here's what I can guarantee.
It might kill some of the deadly algae, though.
Yeah, it's true.
It ain't going to be cheap.
Yeah, no shit.
And it's less money to watch that machine go away than it is to pay the fine. Because with the money for the fine, you could have bought 7 of those. So right now, when we have these people that are picked up, it's literally like whoever's the highest ranking person on that helicopter looks at you and tells you not to fuck up. And then whoever the lowest ranking person on that helicopter is looks at you and goes, now I know you think he was just doing his job, but I'm going to tell you, we take great pleasure in extremely servicing you if we have to go back out and get you. Like if we have to go back out and get you, you're getting a neck brace. You're getting tied to a board. You're probably going to go directly to the hospital because of exposure.
Right.
Like we're not taking any chances with you on the next run. And then the cops can come and pick you up at the hospital once they realize you don't have frostbite.
Right.
Plus, you'll be incontinent, too.
Yeah. That's also true too. Yeah. So realistically, I think for people that have made the mistake, every time I've read a story about somebody who fucks up and loses their Buick or fucks up and loses their Yamaha or whatever.
Cars are the best.
The cars are the best by far because every year there's at least a dozen cars. People are like, well, it's after Christmas. I can drive from Pelee Island or I can drive from Middle Bass out to Pelee.
You used to be able to, but
Not now.
If I was
not
on
for the
my
last
snow,
20 years. So.
If I was on my snow machine, I'd go for it.
If you didn't let off
pick it
the
up,
throttle.
just stay on the throttle and hit the water.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I dramatically
It's only
remember
$500.
all the Christmas trees.
I'd make it.
Yeah, all the Christmas trees, the dead Christmas trees would get lined up on the ice, and that's how we would go from Sandusky out to Middle Bass, and from Middle Bass out to Pelee, which is kind of special because Pelee, you're in Canada.
But they also used to sound the ice. They
Yep.
used to drill holes through the
Absolutely.
ice.
Yep.
It had to be like 18 inches thick, and it was like it was, way
a different
different.
thing.
Yeah, it was way different.
And we all knew when it was good to go out and shit like that. But yes, every year somebody out here in Bay Village gets a wild hair up their ass. They're going to use the quad they've used once a year, and they're going to go out onto the ice and whatever.
And it's hilarious.
And then it's hilarious. Yep. How we can tell here is there's a rule for us. We live out there. If the ice is smooth, it's not safe. So smooth ice is generally ice that's frozen very quickly. It's frozen very quickly. It's a nice, beautiful sheet of ice. And as kids, we could go out and play on it and stuff like that. But you couldn't put anything real heavy on it. And because what's going to happen is nature hasn't had its way with it yet. So what will happen is you're going to get some wind blow up. You're going to get some temperature changes. And then all that big smooth ice is going to fuck off. And like one morning you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, there was ice here yesterday, as far as I could see.
And now there's water.
And now there's water as far as I can see. Where'd the fucking ice go?
Well, it's amazing how much
didn't
wind
melt.
does stuff.
It went west.
I did a time.
it went north.
A couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
I did a time lapse in my pond.
Oh, yeah.
And it was all frozen over, and then
Yep.
the sun came out, and like this part opened up.
Yep.
And then the ice thing started to just go like this and
Moved over.
move all over the place. It
Yeah.
was really cool.
And
I have a picture from
When that ice disappeared.
1976 of me, my best friend, my mom, and her mom standing out on the Kiskiminicus River. The Kiskiminicus River runs through my hometown. It is the fastest river in Pennsylvania or something
Wow.
like that. It's a big river. It never freezes. In 1976, it froze
shit
over.
froze. Yeah.
Just barely.
yeah.
Mom sent me out with a
stick?
with a broom.
Pink.
And we literally walked right out into the middle of this fucking river. If we'd have fallen in,
Yeah. Gone.
you're in and under the ice and
gone.
We'll see you next
Yeah,
spring.
you're gone. You're not
Yeah.
going to pop up through
won't
that
do
hole
about
like a
that
fucking seal.
You'd have been a John sickle.
It was
My brother-in-law, John,
When
went
I
through
look
the
at
ice
that
the other
picture,
day.
when I look at that picture and all of our dumbasses standing
Yeah.
out there in the middle of the ice,
yeah.
I'm like,
Well, think back, like when it actually used to snow for like 5 months straight, and the streets would have like 20-foot piles of snow.
Yeah.
We'd make forts in them.
You were only 2 feet tall then.
Yeah, that's right.
No, dude, it's 78, 79. It was tall. I mean, it was big. Even
That
for
was
like,
one winter.
I always think that is true.
Yeah.
But really, the piles were like, tall when you're a little kid, but then they would freeze, and then you could walk on the top of them, and they would be then they'd turn browner and blacker.
It is Cleveland.
And browner
Yeah.
and blacker,
Yeah.
and then but they'd stay the same size, and then at the end of the winter, everything would be green except for that black pile of shit.
Oh, there'd always be one pile
yeah.
in the middle of the Sears parking lot
it's
or something.
called a glacier.
There would be a glacier that would be like literally black ice. It would just be solid
But I
black.
think we remember.
Yeah,
I
like
think
a
we
black
remember
crystal.
it bigger than
No, because
It's
there's
pretty
pictures,
bad.
dude. Though there's
Yeah.
cars where like my mom and dad's car is here, and the snow pile is like 5 feet taller. But my point to that was,
We had
though-
some good snow piles. This little one.
but my point is that like if you think back then, like we used to hollow these things out. We had like rooms and tunnels and all that stuff. Dude, all that snow had to do was go. And like,
Oh, it happens.
nobody would ever know that you were even in there. Your mom would be like, "Oh, he ran away," and meanwhile you're dead in the front yard.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, that's a
Yeah.
good thing for society. We killed off the stupid kids until 1983. Like until 1983,
How'd
the
the
dumb
other
kids
one-
didn't make it.
How'd the other one slip through?
Exactly. So what happened after 1983 is they started putting wood chips around playground equipment. Yeah, and that's what fucked it
start
over.
saving
So
all
bicycle helmets and wood chips around playgrounds equipment, our society got dumber by like half.
they lowered the equipment too.
They lowered the equipment. They started making it out of nice soft wood. Like up until 83, straight up, you could go to the quote playground that was on asphalt or
Yeah, it was
concrete.
blacktop, yeah.
Right. I'm going to play on the rocket ship. You look at the rocket ship, you'd be like, that's 37 feet tall. It's made out of recycled World War II surplus steel.
Yeah.
It's rusty already.
Yep.
And the only shiny parts were from the kids bleeding on it. Right?
Our favorite thing was playing on the tank.
Exactly.
We had a tank.
We had a big metal fucking tank too. Yeah.
What about the slides that like in July?
Yeah.
They're like 197.
Yeah.
You can cook eggs on them, and
Simple
kids
point.
like.
None of that shit exists today.
No.
And that's why we have stupid fucking people. You ever met a 30-year-old person? They're dumb as a box of fucking hammer
and
handles.
You nailed it. Like there were slides. I remember slides that were like 30 feet tall.
Easily.
But the sides were only like that big.
Well, that and the ladder got narrower as you got to the top.
Yeah.
So you get to the top, and those were considered like the good park. You go to the good park. You go to the park by our house that had a little low shit, right? But you go to that one good park in the city that had the really tall slide
Yep.
that go on the bottom into that like collection of grass and gravel and broken beer bottles and stuff. And you just come off the bottom of that thing at about 73 miles an hour and just go right through your fucking Levi's. You know, we had the Sears, the Toughskins, you know.
Huskies.
I had the Huskies, yeah, I admit it. But the point being,
Fortified with several iron-on patches.
hell yeah. Tickle my fancy. You know, all that bullshit frog with his tongue hanging out and stuff. Because mom had no better choice after you went through your last pair of fucking dungarees. But no shit that like the better playground equipment really dropped the IQ points of our country. Several fucking things.
They replaced the one at Sloan,
Yeah.
and it's like Piper. We used to like going there. It was our little hidden one.
Sloan was cool, yeah.
Yeah, we'd go there after John's Diner. We'd have breakfast,
Yeah.
and we'd go over there and play.
Yeah, block
they
away.
replaced it with stuff that I could think would be conceived by the neighbors who didn't want kids to play there.
Yeah.
It was like modern art sculpture that no kid could play on. Like,
They
it was-
couldn't even figure out how to
It was
figure
like
it
this
out.
thing that was just a bent pole with balls on it, and it was like, the fuck do you do with
We
this?
had a merry-go-round that seated 27 people.
Yes, the merry-go-rounds were the best.
And it somehow managed to have 9 sharp edges on it. It wasn't round. It was 9. It was like a noctagon. But it was the strangest
nine-tagon.
fucking thing. Yeah, 27 kids, 3 per side. It was great. You could get that thing up to 900, 1000 RPMs.
Oh yeah. If you had a buddy, an older kid that had a moped or a
You
mini
stick
bike.
the moped wheel in the back.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
My job was to
yeah.
spin the shit out of that thing. And I would get
Abso-fucking-lutely.
all my buddies would get on. I was the big kid. It was like, all right, spool them up. Get everybody aboard.
But you know what's the funny thing? Here's what's hilarious. We lost 2 or 3 kids a year just getting under it.
And I would spin.
yeah.
So a kid would get under it. And this thing has a flywheel that the Romans never thought of. The flywheel effect on this is like 9,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
Because you got 27 kids moving at 30 miles per hour, do the math. And then one kid, you know, usually the not so smart kid, would like get his leg hooked up underneath. And that kid would end up under it. And he would just get torn to ribbons. Like the kid just got
Ground up.
fucked on an epic level. And that's how you got, you know.
Billy.
Well, there you go. Right? Sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't.
Where's Billy these days?
Well, exactly.
I would spin that son of a bitch till somebody
with the
flew the
short
fuck
leg.
off.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, and again,
And then I would
Right.
stop and I'd spin
Right.
it back the other
The other
way.
way, yeah. Again, we also had swings that you could see the lake from. So, like, you could swing high enough on where the chain would snatch, and you'd swing high enough on those fucking things. You'd be like, "Holy shit, I can see over the school."
Wait, I want to know what
School's
people
3
call
stories
those.
tall.
What did you call those?
What's that?
You know when you got up there and then the chains
And the chain
would
would
get loose?
snatch.
We call them cherry bumps.
Cherry bumps.
I don't know why. I mean, that's what we call them, cherry bumps.
The chain would snatch. That was just when you knew to slow to fuck down.
Yeah.
We would jump off. We had like
We had records.
we're like, okay, we'd start out. Okay, I'd jump off.
Yeah.
3 feet. 4 feet.
No,
4.
no,
Next
no,
thing you know, we're sending it. We're letting go.
Oh, yeah.
Right out the top. I landed it.
Our goal was to make it off the grass or make it off the asphalt, make it to the grass.
Yeah.
So if you could send it hard enough to clear the asphalt or clear the concrete and make it to the grass, nice soft landing.
Swing as
Curb
hard
was the problem.
Yeah.
Swing
the
as
curb
hard.
at the edge of the...
Yeah.
Swing as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And when you get going as high as you can,
Yeah.
jump off.
No, we learned though, if you went all the way, you just went up and straight in the air and then you came down twice
Oh,
as
you gotta
hard.
get the angle.
You got to get the
45
angle just right.
degrees.
45 degrees for maximum trajectory. It was very good for science. I think it made us all better at science. Right.
Again, I
It
didn't
also
make,
made us all
I
better
didn't-
at drooling and
I didn't really make it past 45 degrees. You know?
again, yeah.
But the games on the playground were like, kill the man with the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the ball...
You mean smear the queer? I mean, we can say that. I mean,
I'm going to tell you,
I'm
it's
just saying.
historically accurate.
I mean, that's just what it was.
We used to have football helmets and boxing gloves, and just beat the shit out of each other with boxing gloves with football helmets on.
Right, perfect. Yeah, that's it. Again, most kids today don't do that. Most kids are more like, oh man, I just slaughtered him at Minecraft or whatever.
Yeah, they've never played
It
1981 or 1983 on 3 fucking front yard football.
Oh, yeah,
where there was
Yeah.
at least somebody went to the hospital every day from something.
Kick the can was a big one.
when Hoff was growing up, they come in from recess and they're bleeding and shit like that. Their shirts are torn up. So, okay, the kids are pretty cool right now.
Yep.
All out of juice.
No, but if you
They're all
said, but
wound
the
up.
thing is, you could beat the shit out of anybody. But if you said shit, you would go right to the principal's office and you would sit there all day long.
Yeah.
And they would scream at you all day long because you swore.
Well,
It was ridiculous.
there were things that were sacrosanct. Yeah, that was a little
Snowballs too. We got the whole school got a detention because we were throwing snowballs after school.
Oh, really?
Not on the property. We were not even on the school property, and we were throwing snowballs. She called us in the next day, put everybody in the gym,
Really?
and made us stay for 2
Someone's still
hours.
salty about it.
I was going to say, yeah, so
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. It wasn't even at school property.
Would you guys like to hear a message from Dustin Nickerson?
Yes.
So Dustin Nickerson's one of our Patreons, and because you're a Patreon, you get access to the hot phone, the bat phone. You can send messages and shit, and we will read them on the air. This dude has an actual motorcycle, not playground related question, which I know we're gonna have to change gears. Okay, but anyway, Dustin Nickerson says, and I'm doing this for John. I'm reading this message for John.
Oh boy.
Because there's going to be parts of this that are really going to fucking bother John. Because on one hand, you'll see. All right. So
It hurts when it's true.
Dustin writes, what are your thoughts on Royal Enfield? I saw you are a dealer. We are not a dealer. We stopped being a dealer in about 2014, 2015. Okay. 2014 at least, maybe 13. Anyway, I came across a 2015 Royal Enfield Classic 500. That's a single cylinder. That had 3,000 miles on it for $1,000 last October. I bought it. I went through it, replacing dry rotted tubing, changing all the fluids, replacing the dry rotted tires with Dunlop K70s, and truing the wheels. I found the back wheel was bent and I replaced it too. I got everything back together in January and have been riding it. I really enjoy it, but what are some things I should watch for and or upgrade and replace? I also bought a Himalayan a couple of weeks ago, new and just past 100 miles an hour doing that, or 100 miles rather, doing that crazy run-in schedule. Okay.
Should replace the Royal Enfield with a Honda.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
No.
I'm going to give this fair consideration. If I could buy that same Royal Enfield for $1,000, I'd consider it.
I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't think that was a bad deal at all. And you did the exact right thing.
Right.
Indian rubber was crap.
Yep.
It was dry. It was bad from the beginning.
Yep.
So I would definitely go through and get rid of all the Indian rubber, put a new set of tires on it, anything rubber.
And the
switch it
tires
out.
were Avons. So the tires that came on all those Royal Enfields were Avons, but they were not British Avons.
But definitely the tires would be the last thing to buy and replace. Make sure the motor runs.
Well,
because that's the most expensive.
Because you're like, I'll buy the tires.
Yep.
I'll change it. Those are easy. And
the
then all of a sudden you're like,
2015
fuck.
is not the old motor; it's the newer motor, and so
It is what's
No,
called
but-
the UCE motor, unit constructed engine.
Right, but still, I mean, if it's a bike that you don't know if it's going to run or
Oh,
not.
no, true. You
I
are
mean,
true.
just-
So
just
I'm
buy
assuming
the
that
last.
this is a fuel injected Enfield.
It is.
Yeah.
So 2015, it would
Yeah.
be a fuel injected unit UCE motor, 5-speed, 500 single. But John and I have gone through. I have done three top ends, 3 heads on these, and in all 3 cases, they were motorcycles that were broken in gently. And then the first time the motorcycle was taken out at over 70 miles an hour, we had head gasket leak. And I also had one that was broken in gently and had this weird thing about consuming about a quart of oil every 1,000 miles. Wow. Yeah. So I've definitely can tell you that the 500 single is not one of my favorite motors by far.
City bike, right? I mean, if you're never
Well-
going to take it over 50.
I guess the real thing is they were engineered to go 35 miles an hour with a family of 6.
Like
Factual statement. Factual statement. But they weren't designed to go from 0 to 70 as fast as they could. They were never designed to be ridden the way Americans ride, which means always going 70, sometimes going 80. And a Royal Enfield single-cylinder 500 does not like going 70, sometimes 80. It's just not what they're good at.
I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do with it, then you need to change your final ratio.
Everything.
Yeah, you need a serious up gear. If you're going to ride it on the highway, you can't leave it stock. You need to take.
They were geared really fucking low. So in stock,
though?
yeah. So in stock, well, they were
The
eventually.
bottom end was basically a 25-pound weight.
It was
This big.
the world's biggest flywheel.
With an interesting system of a roller ball bearing on one side and then a ball bearing on the other side, and then the other side of the crank. It was a funky setup, but it had a huge
flywheel's massive
built into the crank.
Thrust.
Well, here's the trick, and this is
What's that?
something.
I just wondered how they controlled thrust with
The world's
two
biggest
roller
bearings.
bearings?
There was
No,
a
there's
roller
bearing.
one's a
Plain
roller
bearing.
one's a ball bearing, one's a flat roller.
So you had a plain bearing on one side, you had a plain bearing on one side, a roller bearing on the other side.
Okay. And
And
the
it worked
plain
fine.
bearing-
The plain bearing took care of the thrust. But here's what I'm going to tell you. They were geared really low so that even an idiot first-timer out of the box with a Royal Enfield 500, didn't matter what it was, could give it a little bit of throttle and get that very heavy flywheel spinning. Let the clutch out with any kind of enthusiasm and pick the front end right up on the fucking bike. They wheelied great for a 500. The downside was the C5s like you had that beautiful rear fender that went almost all the way to the ground. And so when you'd wheelie the thing, almost every time you'd fucking destroy the rear fender. So that became an issue for a lot of customers who were like, I don't know what happened. I just let the clutch out. The light turned green. I was excited. I let the clutch out. Next thing I know, the bike's running away from me across the street. So we had a lot of unintentional wheelies with the Royal Enfields. When we built my custom bike that we did for the motorcycle show, I changed the gearing on that by 2 fucking teeth up front and a tooth in the back, as much as I could literally overdrive it. And then first gear was totally usable, and I had a bike that would run 80 plus miles per hour. So I found an extra 10 miles per hour on the top end of that motorcycle, changed the factory exhaust away from the catalytic converter exhaust, really did a lot to open that bike up. And that bike would run over 80 without blowing up.
Did they run lean or rich?
They ran lean as hell. Absolutely lean as hell. But the one thing is they did have a screw on the side of the fuel injector that was actually an air valve, an air control valve. So you could operate the screw on the side of the air filter, which would adjust your amount of air coming into the system, which would thereby kick the fuel injector up. Yeah. So, but what I would do, but I think you have found most of the problems that existed with Royal Enfields. Yeah. The wheels that weren't round, that was a big problem. Bolt holes that went where bolts weren't supposed to be. There was a lot of weird fitment things.
What was the first year for those Enfields to come out?
With the new, I think it was 2009.
Okay.
It was 2009 was the first year they were unit constructed engine. Prior to that, it was a separate motor transmission.
Well, he's well past any of those transmission problems or whatever.
Yeah, because the transmission problems, I think, were 2010 or 11 was when we had every single gearbox was bad. 100% of the gearboxes had a faulty second and third gear.
Second, third, and fourth.
Eventually the fourth. Yeah. The guys found out early. The guys who jumped in real early and only replaced the second and third gear, then later found out the fourth was bad too.
I always thought that was a windage problem. When you looked
Me
at
too.
the crankcase, they had webbing that came down too far and wouldn't let oil sling up on to up into the transmission.
Yep. And they fixed it by giving you the race. I love the racing gearbox. Like there'd ever be a racing gearbox for a 22 horsepower, 500cc motorcycle.
Well,
but yeah.
They could be racing in the Vespa class.
And all they were the regular gears
Back cut.
machined out with a bronze phosphor bushing in them.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Same. That was exactly what we measured. We compared them, and it was just the bronze bushing that made the difference. So here's the thing: if I got an Enfield, C5, G5, B5, any of those 500cc bullets, I'd count myself lucky if I got it for $1,000. I might not feel so lucky if I got it for $2,000. Right. So I think he did the right thing. You scored.
I always wanted to turn one into an enduro, like an off-road, lighten it up as much as possible.
And they sold a kit for that.
Put some big chunky knobbies on it. It'd be fun for doing some. I mean, it's got lots of torque. And,
Yeah, they did a Woodsman kit for it and stuff, and like you could buy all that stuff and build one out.
I feel the same way about the Urals.
Right.
It's like a 650 Ural.
Yeah.
Like they're selling for like $6,000, and you think, I wouldn't give you $1,000
No,
for it. I mean, I
fuck
wouldn't
no.
give you almost anything for a 650 Ural.
No.
Because something's going to go wrong.
The last year, all I got, you got right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
There's something going wrong with it.
And modern Urals are just, when you see how much a modern Ural is, you're going to fucking die.
They're like 20 grand.
If somebody has the balls to charge that much money for that piece of, anyway, I digress. So so Dustin, that's the deal, man. And I'm glad you got a Himalayan. I hope you like it. So that's cool.
Later.
Been enjoying it. But the later Royal Enfields, the Enfields that were produced in the new factory, all seem to be much better quality, and people really
You don't need an exorcist.
You don't need an exorcist to come in. Yeah. Or you don't need John to replace all the transmissions. The Jerry Minikowski says, hey, I got a question. If I'm trading in a bike, should I look at the NADA or the KBB? All right, guys. Look at that's the fucking oil discussion right there. That's the oil form question, right? Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what
I
it
liked
is.
our little competition I had with Cinch when I evaluated his bike. I looked his bike up. I came up with $4,400.
There you go.
You looked up an FZ, not an FJ.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same bike.
Okay,
No,
well,
no.
all right. So
Just one letter.
Just for the sake of fun, we're going to look up, what year's your bike, Cinch?
2015.
Okay, and it's a Yamaha.
FZ09.
No, FJ09.
J09, I know better. Right?
Buck a CC.
So, FJ09. So we're going to look up Kelly Blue Book, and then we're also going to look up NADA, okay?
Kelly
so
Blue
we're going to do
Ball.
both. Okay, so we're going to do Kelly Blue Book, and we're going to look up NADA. And I kind of know which way this is headed because I do this for a living. All right. So the first one we're going to look at, they call that bike an FJ09 Street Sport. Okay. Yeah. So they call it a street sport. So the first one we're going to do is Kelly Blue Book. So what people don't know about Kelly Blue Book is Kelly Blue Book tends to be operated by the insurance industry.
And the Illuminati.
What's that?
Illuminati.
Yeah. And so you're going to see there's some different ways that they do the pricing. Okay. So first of all, we're going to pull Kelly up here. So Kelly, this is Steve's bike. Now to preface this,
That's way more than that's worth.
Okay. So right now, Kelly Blue
That's a
Book.
trade-in value.
Kelly Blue Book says that
And we're
his
talking about a
bike's
trade-in.
Trade-in value. He's going to be trading it in to buy another motorcycle.
You're
Okay.
trading yours in to get an Africa Twin.
in
No,
good
I'm selling mine to get an Africa Twin.
What's the difference between trading and selling?
I'm glad I'm going to tell you. We're going to talk about that. We're actually going to talk about that
How far you have to bend over?
because NADA helps you explain that. All right, so here we go. So Kelly Blue Book says in good condition with typical mileage, his trade-in value is $5,340. That's the amount of money a dealership is going to give you, and then the dealership is going to sell this vehicle and will be afforded by a thing called margin. Okay, they'll be endowed by their maker with profit that keeps them being in business and being a dealer. Because you can click this button that says typical listing price, and then it says, well, this is the price they typically list for. See what happened there?
Yeah.
We went from $5,340
To 77.
to $7,735.
And I'm
so that's
only
what you
asking-
wish you could get
Hold
for
on,
it
hold on.
versus
Sounds
what you can
don't-
actually get for
Don't
it.
say it yet. Don't say it yet. Don't say it yet. Because
That bike's got a really bad vibration, too.
All of them. do.
all right. So and here's what's important, and this is why we got to play the game. This is why we kind of have to play the game, and you have to go back and forth between these two different companies. Okay. So we see that a trade-in value was about $5,300, and we see a typical listing price was about $7,700.
That's because, the guys that usually buy them are overly optimistic,
Okay, so now we're going to look at NADA. All right. So NADA is sponsored by JD Power. Okay. And you're going to see that there's quite a big difference here. Okay. So NADA does not give you wholesale. Or sorry, NADA doesn't give you trade-in.
Trade-in, yeah.
You should be thinking of trade-in as wholesale. Okay. Trade-in is wholesale. Trade-in is a dealer buys it at auction. Trade-in is, how I buy bikes. Okay. That's trade-in. Retail, low retail. Now, here's what's kooky. As opposed to Kelly Blue Book, which apparently uses, I don't know, a divining rod, sacrifices a chicken, opens
it's
up a
the 8
window,
ball.
magic 8 ball, right? A little bit of that. Yeah, right. Give it 3 shakes.
Well,
yeah. So what NADA does, NADA will like to brag, NADA uses actual bikes that have sold according to title transfers and stuff in your state in the past 18 months. Okay. So NADA has a system that they come up with a price, and you'll see that they do not offer a wholesale. Okay. NADA does not offer you a wholesale price. NADA does not offer you a trade-in price. NADA says that these bikes have sold. A bike that sold originally for $10,490, brand new, sells for between $59.70, and its average price it sells for is $78.55. So there's going to be some above it and some below it. Okay, that gives you an idea what it sells for. But as you can see, there's quite a big fucking difference between. But when we get to the typical listing price, remember that number $78.55. Okay, remember $78.55. Got it. Because when we go back to KBB and we say, KBB, what is your typical listing price? Well, it's pretty fucking close. Okay, so really, it's about $80 difference. So in this particular case, NADA was about $50 higher than KBB.
And something to consider about Cinch's bike is he'll be giving you about $2,800 worth of suspension and other stuff for free.
And that's a big
Farkles
thing.
don't count.
And that's
Not in that.
Farkles don't count.
Not there, but for the person also, 4 seats, 4 windscreens.
Yeah.
You can adjust
don't
your ass.
Right.
You can adjust your ass to what you want to fucking feel like on that bike.
I'm going to guarantee it.
Plus, it was wrecked twice.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll
John
tell you
says
what.
Farkles don't count.
If you keep all that stuff, will you give me $2,000 off the price of the bike?
And that's how I play the game backwards. Every time somebody comes in my shop and goes, I know I want to trade my bike in.
Seriously, if you want to, if you can take the rear shock and put the other one back, the fork cartridges back out, I could sell those for $1,800 on Adventure Rider all day
Holy
long.
cow!
So then
what
I
are
can
you,
get the-
like
I can get the bike for
retail
four-
king?
You'll take my $4,500 offer?
No, 53. Look what it says over there.
No,
You're like a
45.
Harley guy.
45.
I'm here
I
with
put
money.
$92,000 in this bike.
Show him the money,
All
John.
right,
Show him
guys,
the money.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. The secret to selling a
Not yet,
motorcycle.
not yet.
The secret to selling a motorcycle is to know 2 things, and know these 2 things intimately. Know the bottom number
your
you're
number?
going to sell the bike for.
Yep. What's your number?
What's your fucking bottom? If you come into my shop and you're going to try to trade your bike into me, I'm going to only ask you one question. What's your fucking number? Well, I was hoping you'd tell me. Get the fuck out of my store. Why did you even come in here with that bullshit?
I was hoping you'd tell me.
Because I wanted an appraisal service for free. Whatever you tell me, I'm going to ask 1,000 more for and put it up on Craigslist. Again, go fuck your head. Okay? Why? Everybody wants a free appraisal.
I'd fuck that hat.
So, if you don't know how much money you're willing to take for your bike or your car or your house or whatever the fuck it is,
You probably shouldn't be selling.
you shouldn't be selling it.
Your fishing shanty.
Yeah, right.
You should probably look at Kelly Blue.
Yeah. Because
Hey, my fishing
I
stand is a
got bad news
2-star.
for you. If you don't
With
know
a prostitute.
If you don't know what your shit's worth, if you don't know that your shit's worth $77.35, Unkie Phil is going to offer you $53.40.
Michael Fresh is going to offer you
on.
too.
I'm not done yet. But wait, there's more. Have you ever played The Price is Right? I'm good at it.
$1.
Because then I'm going to tell you about the $300 worth of tires the bike needs.
Sure.
Oh,
And then we're going to talk about the chain.
And the carburetor needs rebuilt.
We're going to go for the real shit. I'm going to look at your sprockets.
Oh, brand new sprockets and chain on mine.
But my point being,
No, I know.
if you come in and you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
and you ask me what your bike is worth, I'll tell you what your bike is worth, because we're going to start at that number.
You drop that bike because your brake handle looks like a banana.
Exactly. Right.
I feel
You got a
like
scratch on your gear case, on your alternator case?
Do you toss fruit salads? Because your brake lever looks like a banana.
if you just gave me this bike right now, you could probably save yourself $2,000.
I can for $2,500, I can make this bike sellable.
Trade it back for the Tenera and
Look,
then
I
give
tell
the
people all
Tenera
the
to
time.
John for $5.
I'll tell people all the time. We can make your bike worth $53.40.
Yeah.
I cannot make your bike worth $77.35
Not for you, because you
for
gotta
retail.
Make, yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
cannot do that. I cannot make your bike worth that. But I can make your bike worth $53.40. If you leave this bike here and you let me put a new chain on it if you let me put new tubes and new tires, if you let me put new sprockets on it, if you let me do the valve adjustment that I know you motherfucking haven't done, because I met this bike when it had 1,200 miles on it, and now it's got 30,000 miles on it, and you said, I don't take my bike anywhere else. So now I know you need a valve adjustment.
Especially on those 2-strokes.
So if you want me to make your bike worth $5,340, I can do that, but it's going to cost you around $2,000. That's the point. Don't ever go into selling a bike if you don't know what you'll take for it. Not what it's worth, what you'll take for it. Because everyone thinks their Harley Davidson's worth $20,000. But I have never paid more than $6,000 for a Harley Davidson.
Do you use the long side too?
Well,
let me tell you.
If you would have tried to sell this last year, this bike was popular.
No, I always offer an alternative. So my offer is always, I will always offer somebody consignment. Because look, if you're not willing to put the money into this bike to make it sell, because look, when people buy things at a dealer, what do they expect? They want that bitch to be perfect. Yep. That's why they're at a dealer. If they wanted a rat trap with unknown bodies in the gas tank, they'd buy it on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace like everybody else. If you want to buy a motor that's already been seized 7 times, you buy it on Facebook Marketplace.
Or one with a funny vibration.
A strange vibration nobody can figure out.
One that's being sold out of like Albania.
Exactly. Yeah. The point is,
or Penfield.
Everybody knows that Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist are the places where people go to get rid of shit that a dealer won't take.
Sketchy stuff.
When you've taken it to 3 dealers and 3 dealers have been like, no, not today. Don't want it. Don't want it.
No more headaches.
Don't want it. Right. And I say I don't want it a lot. I mean, I do that a lot because the last thing I want to do is bring a bike into my shop and have 3 people test ride it. Yeah. And every single person that test rides it goes, oh, those fucking front brakes are just woogity as hell. Like, oh, you need rotors, you need pads, you need everything. I'm never going to sell that bike.
That's where they were in the 90s.
Until I dump all the money into it. Yeah. No, they're from the 70s. It's groovy. Yeah.
That's center cylinder in that FZ09?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They always ran that at half the compression.
Yeah, of course. No, it kept it from overheating. Yeah. Right. It's a natural heat dispersion technique. But the right idea is the best thing is you ever want to sell a motorcycle, know exactly how much money you want to ask for it. That's it. Don't ever, ever, ever ask the dealer or the buyer. Don't ask the buyer, what do you give me for it? Oh, now you're on my fuck you list. What will you give me for it? First of all, I didn't come to you. You came to me. That's the best example ever of I don't need your shit. If I show up and you go, Oscar, I really want that Trail 110 back. What does Oscar know?
He's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
We can negotiate. Yeah. I came to him because I know he's got a Trail 110. If I decide I want a Trail 110, I will ask him how much he wants to sell his bike for.
Evoke right of first refusal.
First right of refusal. Prima noctum. But I will never, ever, I mean, if I'm trying to sell something, my first thing I say is, so I'm selling that 1959 Triumph. So there's a 1959 Triumph behind me right now, Tiger Cub, right? So I'm selling that. That's my bike. I want to sell it. So I want to sell that bike. Before I put it anywhere, before I list it, I'm not going to be one of those assholes that like lists something and says, call for price. Or let's work it out. What you got?
How much you want for that $500 Triumph?
Exactly. Right. That's it. And I'll probably sell that bike for about $4,500.
It's a nice looking bike, too.
It's a beautiful bike. Yeah. It's got the number 59 in front of it, for being, it's not a new bike by a long shot. And Tiger Cubs are cute. Arthur Franzarelli had one. So, as we saw earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Does that have a gear driven?
Yes, it does.
That is cool.
Isn't that cool? The heads on those are pretty cool. Yeah. It's got a pretty cool top end. But anyway.
Skinny carb, too.
Steve, you need that bike.
You do not need a 1959 Triumph.
No, I don't want to buy it, but I think it's a beautiful machine.
As an original machine, an unrestored machine, a machine that's just...
Steve, it has almost no power and gets fantastic gas mileage.
Yes, it does. Right.
I'll give you $6,000 for it.
Exactly. But even like the idea, once I get it in my head, I'm going to sell something, I already know what I'm going to sell it for.
Right.
Now, here's the second thing you have to know. So the second thing you have to know, once you know what your bottom price is, the second thing you know is how long are you willing to wait to get that money, right? And that's the second part of the conundrum is like, I want $4,500 for that. But at that price, I'm willing to wait 30 days to get that money because I know that other ones are listed for $6,500. So if I know that my bike is 2,000 under all the other ones, that means I'm going to sell it fast. Right. So I've given myself a 30-day window to sell that bike because I know that my price is 2,000 lower than other people. It should be a fast sale.
And that's my point with my bike. I know I'm putting it up for basically the average price that all the other bikes are, right?
Without all the farkles.
Yeah. So like basically you're getting all the farkles for free.
Absolutely. You're getting all the candy for nothing.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Sparkles aren't worth anything.
Well, we all know that. The maximum, look, there is no, you can look up NADA. There is no category for sentimental value or unnecessary seats or windshields, right?
There should be a deduction, though, for too much talk about the bike.
For a custom build?
No, for somebody that just talks your ear off about how many bikes they had before it. Yeah. You should just be like, for every minute you talk, it's $50 off the price.
I totally agree.
And there's
oh my God. Because that means all the motorcycles at Mid-Ohio would be free.
When I was
I'm just saying, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't mind talking to somebody if that's like the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
But when you're buying something, it's like, what's your price? This is what I'm willing to worth. Negotiate and shut the fuck up.
You watched me unsell a bike to a guy at Mid-Ohio. A guy negotiated himself into not buying a motorcycle. He would have loved to buy the motorcycle, but he was no longer allowed to buy the motorcycle. And he came back later with the amount I originally asked for. So he literally erased all of his negotiations and tried to get himself allowed back into class again. So he came back in saying, you know what? I will give you the $200 you were asking or whatever. And I was just like, no, fuck you. I already sold it.
It's $400 now for you.
Yeah, but I mean, I had already sold it anyway. So the idea being behind selling things and buying things. And this is a really, really decent thing. And he's saying, KBB or NADA, look at fucking both of them. So look at both of them, have an understanding for what those numbers mean, and then understand the trade-in value. That's because the dealer straight up, you are buying something else from that dealer. That dealer, you are not retailing that vehicle anymore. You're retailing that vehicle. What are you doing? I'm going to have 20 scummy people coming out to my house trying to buy that vehicle. That's called listing price. Typical listing price is not what you're going to get for it. Typical listing price is what you're asking for it. There is no such thing as price you're getting it for. There ain't no category for price you're getting it for. Price you're selling it for.
You also have to realize that anybody who's looking at that is going to come in at that $54 or $95.
Yeah.
And if you're selling at retail, you have to
Oscar.
You have to see if the guy's going to negotiate, because some people will come and will be like, that's the price I'm paying for it, and then you have to say,
fuck
leave.
off.
I'm done with you.
Look, whether or not a negotiation happens is completely on that part of the seller. If you are a person like me, where I'm just like, we don't negotiate, this is my price. I've always said this. When I come up with a price on my motorcycles, it's a well-reasoned, well-thought-out thing. I spend a lot of time thinking about how much money I'm going to ask for something I'm selling. Whether I'm selling a gun, whether I'm selling a motorcycle, right? Or a car. I always really give it a lot of thought. I come up with a good price for my shit. To have somebody walk in who's like fucking one brick load of a fucking basket, right? And they show up and they're like, well, I'll give you, and they always give you half. They always shoot this. They have this idea. So I'm going to offer them half and we're going to meet in the middle. I'm sorry. Arguably speaking, I'm a fucking expert in this field.
Yeah.
The number I came up with was well thought out. It was well reasoned. I came up with it for a reason. You're going to come out of here, snot dripping out of your fucking nose, pants put on wrong, the whole deal. You're a hot mess. And you're going to cut my price in half?
And doing that in a business
and waste my time too.
It's a shitty thing to do in a business to do that. I mean, if you're talking to Joe Schmo in a marketplace or whatever, I mean, that's fair game to whatever you want to say. But to a business to come in and pull that shit.
What's the first thing they say? Well, I don't want to insult you.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, dude. You're not insulting me. You've insulted yourself pretty hard. I know a lot about you that I didn't 10 seconds ago. One, you don't know what this bike is worth.
You're the one that looks like an
idiot. So I'm probably going to fuck you a lot harder now. Because now I know that you know nothing about this. Shit's going to start flowing fast around here because you showed me your ass. I know you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So I'm going to hold my number, and now it's going to get more painful. So really, those are the two things. If I give a price, I always assume the person asking the price probably has a pretty good idea why they're doing it, unless I know for a fact they're stupid and they're just going for the cheap seats.
Well, I bought that sled today, that other sled, and I looked at the price, and it's twice what NADA and
Absolutely.
and it was twice what it cost. But then you have to figure in, okay, so you have to kind of size up the guy, see like what he's done.
I don't
and
need
then
to put
all
it
the work.
back.
Then all the work you put into it. I'm not going to beat him down and say that this is what that retail price of it is.
Right.
I mean, you look at a new one; it's $20,000.
Right.
He's asking $1,450.
Exactly.
And so it's a good price right
great
there.
price.
I'll give him the $1,450.
Absolutely.
But then I said to him, we would take $1,400.
Right.
And so I could buy my wife and I lunch. And he's like, no problem.
Of
I
course.
mean, they don't care. Like,
Dude, that,
$50.
Look,
makes
when
me
he
happy.
listed it at $1,450, he would have been thrilled with $1,200.
Right. But
Right.
I don't want
Yeah.
to rip him off.
No, you didn't.
He did a good job.
And you're totally happy to have the thing for $1,400
Yeah,
bucks.
and I was ecstatic to get it for that price, for how good it was. And I feel even better that I got $50 back. Like I would have given the whole price. If he just said no, I'd be like, I don't care anyway.
How good is my truck at picking up snowmobiles?
It is awesome. Except the carbides catch in the grate.
Oh, and the holes in the grate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't think about
Nice.
that.
Yeah, so
oh,
the
that's funny.
carbide's caught in there, but
Yeah.
that's not any big deal
Right.
because it's like
You could fight it
rode
up.
it up the thing. I thought
I
she was
know,
going
I-
to ride
I
it
was
through the
gonna
back
ask you.
window.
I figured you
the
did
fuck?
it. Look, man, my truck has
back
got
it
a
up?
ramp built into the
it's
tailgate.
reversed.
No, we rode it right up on.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, I
It
only
went.
put down
They picked it up
3
in Phil's
sections.
truck and then transferred it from Phil's truck
Oh,
to
the-
his
Rode
truck.
it
Dude,
backwards into my.
That was
Oh,
literally.
that's how. Okay.
You guys ever heard about docking?
Yeah.
It was the opposite of docking. It was butt to butt.
Yeah.
So they literally did like space docking, and he backed his Tacoma up behind my F-150, and the tailgate's lined up, and then literally he just put it in reverse and he just backed it from my truck into his truck. But again,
Tailgate.
look, the sleeping bag.
exactly. Like this.
The sleeping bag only fits in the bag it came in once,
Yeah.
and that was the best example of just like, okay, well, at least
Good luck.
At least 60% of the sled was in his truck, and I actually put some ratchet straps on it because I was like, if that sled
there
goes
was-
backwards 1 inch, the fulcrum points on the front skis would have been
Yeah.
behind the tailgate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
not
There was
good.
this much, like
Yeah.
where the shocks come down.
Yeah.
There was this much of the tailgate.
Yeah.
6
I
inches.
mean, the
Oh yeah. 6 inches, baby. 6 inches.
well,
Cleveland
6
Moto
inches
style.
for John.
Yeah.
But-
oh my God.
Hit him, John.
It was pretty rad. It was pretty cool. And it was the
I was
badass
afraid
thing.
too because
Because I was just like, oh, just keep my
almost
truck
back-
and
How'd you
my
get
back
it out of
window.
the back of your pickup? How'd you get it out of the back of your pickup?
Still
Get it out
there.
yet. I'm
I was going to say,
I'm going to use the crane. I have a
oh,
I have
that's
a spreader
cool.
bar,
That's a good idea.
so I'll just put.
Not me, man. Put it in neutral.
Straps and-
Brake torque. Yeah.
Well, actually, there's so many snow piles. I could back the
Yeah.
tailgate up to
Back
the
the
snow
tailgate
pile.
up to
Yeah,
snow
just
pile.
drive
And
it
just
off.
drive it right
Yeah, where
off.
the Jeep is.
That's what they use.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that for you.
That's what they call landscaping features.
I got this.
I don't need a ramp if there's landscaping features. I've loaded a lot of motorcycles in the back of pickup trucks or vans with no ramps. I'm just looking for expensive landscaping. Because white people love to put hills in their yard where there aren't any.
Yeah.
They'll
White
put a
people.
hill going up to a tree, and there'll be another hill go over here going into some sort of fountain with some babies pissing, and like all this stuff. And I'll just back my van right up to that and ride the motorcycle right in the back of the van. It's perfect. They don't care.
I'm gonna actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in my trailer.
Yeah.
I'll probably just ride it off
Ride it
in my
right
trailer,
out. It's perfect.
and then I'm gonna put it in the place where the dictator will go absolutely bonkers.
Oh, you're going to basically pick a fight.
Oh, I've already picked a huge fight. I put everything, all my stuff everywhere, just to get him crazy.
So you want to see what we bought?
Yeah.
What we bought.
Oh, we always. So if you guys hang out here long enough, you'll know that I constantly buy stuff, and so Cleveland Moto's got some new
Leaded
swag.
glass.
Also, we have new. Yeah, we're all drinking out of much nicer glasses.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leaded glass.
That's right. So we're all drinking out of leaded glass. We're all drinking out of proper fucking whiskey glasses. There you go.
Muchas.
There you go.
Nice throw.
Yeah, it's been a while since you guys got new hats.
Go fuck your head.
Go fuck your hat. This is a really nice
Are
hat
these
for fucking.
pre-fucked?
I'd fuck that hat real
No, they're
hard.
unfucked. You got one already. All right, cool.
I'd fuck my
So what we
hat.
got is we got the newest Cleveland Moto hat, and not only is it so the last ones were knit, these are fleece, We've gone for more of the modern beanie styles, so it wears under your helmet. If you want to wear it under your helmet, keep your head warm. But it says Cleveland Moto, ride fast, take chances on it. Where the other one said Moto Guzzi, these say ride fast, take chances. We thought these were more
beautiful,
more funnier.
Let me take this hat off before you fuck it.
No, it's yours to fuck.
You can fuck it yourself.
This way, when I tell you to go fuck your hat, there'll be a hell of a lot less chafing. You might even have a nice lube
Is that what
collection
that
for
little
your
2-inch
hat.
pocket is in the back? Oh, perfect.
It's in the back. Yeah, that's exactly it. That's
This one doesn't ride up on my pointy head.
That's your spunk locker. Yeah.
Yikes.
So we're gonna put these up on
This
the
is your
things.
happy hat.
We'll give these. We'll make sure that if we got new Patreon members, people join the Patreon level at the party line level. We'll make sure you give them a hat now.
Party line level.
The fucking
my new
party line
hat.
level. I love these. I love getting Patreon messages. Also get random pictures. People have been sending me random pictures of boobs.
Nice.
Random pictures of girls in compromising positions. No, not up there. No,
Put 'em in the chat.
I'm supposed to be getting all that shit. What the
Exactly.
fuck?
We'll share this.
I'm in the text.
Exactly. But anyway, so I wanted
That's
to,
why there's a pocket in your hat.
exactly.
go
Right.
fuck it.
Next week we're
Share
gonna
it
get
all.
100 pictures of ice shanties with just boobs in them.
Oh, exactly. Everybody's gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck Phil's talking about. I've been getting BJ's and ice shanties for ages. Never more than $10. Yeah, just the back of
What's the
some
letter, Kenny?
the back of some guy's head with a $20 bill on it doesn't count. Does not count. Just because you pay for it doesn't mean it's prostitution. That just means you're generous. Yeah, that's all.
Just a tip.
That's exactly it. Look, Oscar and I spent a lot of time together.
Doesn't mean you're paying for prostitution.
Yeah.
It's just a tip.
Right. Oscar and I have been, we've hung out a lot. We've spent a lot of time in strange places, leather couches, all kinds of cool stuff we've done. But at no point ever
Did money
I ever
exchange
think
hands?
about giving him $1 ever. No, because he's my friend. I'm not going to make him into a prostitute.
No, but you did buy the 6 drinks
But don't you
before you
feel
got
like-
to the room.
Don't you feel like you got to?
Slut then?
Don't you at least feel like you should pay for damages?
I feel so cheap now.
No, Phil's thinking is he bought the 6 drinks before they got back to the room. That's what he paid for.
Honestly, the whole
Box
time,
of O-rings.
the whole time I'm walking around, everybody's like, if anybody's looking at us at a gay couple, I'm like, I did good, didn't I? Like, that is seriously, that's the highest compliment anybody can
You
pay.
married up.
Running around with that little,
I married up.
little
You're punching
arm
up
candy.
on that one.
Fucking
that-
romantic
Get that
Hispanic all day
arm
long.
candy.
All day long. Yeah, for real.
Oscar, you bitch.
I know.
Nice. I totally approve of that. That is
I've been
fucking
called
awesome.
worse.
Exactly. Let's see. So anyway, Kyle Odmanson says in that topic, he says, hey, everyone, enjoying the show. Was just wondering if I should be receiving any swag in the mail. I've been a party member since April of last year. The answer is yes, Kyle. You are supposed to be getting
Thanks for reminding us.
Swag.
Renee's freshly stuffed box. So so what I'll do is I'll talk to Renee and make sure that you haven't slipped through her cracks. So we're going to make sure that you get...
And we've seen the pictures. She does a hell of a job.
Renee
Stuffed
stuffs
in
the
a
box.
Did he join at the wrong time of the month?
No, I think he's safe. I think he's safe. One of our...
Can you please delete that? I don't want to get on her bad side.
Right. Look, honestly, you could fuck over our shop pretty hard and get away with it. Most of the time, we have a really good sense of humor about stuff. But would you want to piss off Renee? No. Fuck no.
Why? Why would you do that?
Right. Why would you do it to begin with? But do you think she'd let that slide? Do you think she forgets real fast? No, she doesn't. I've known her for way over 20 years. She remembers stuff that I said and or did that statute of limitations in any state in America would totally be like, oh, whatever. Fucking let that
Before you
shit
even
go.
knew her, she remembers.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Look,
It's psychic.
rat fuck me all you want. James, awesome. That will move you up on the getting to know James thing. Like, James is a ball buster. So if you just open with ball busting, hit him where he lives, look, he's
I'm
emotional.
still waiting for the breakfast when he told me to meet him and he didn't show up. Fucker. He still owes me breakfast.
And he is like, he's
I'm going
his
to
own
bust his
jam.
balls right now.
James is 100% his own jam. I promise. But what I will tell you is nobody, and I mean nobody, who's ever been here for a minute is going to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to fuck Renee over a little bit. It'll be okay.
Nope.
No, totally not. I have straight up, Renee has just told me in the shop, Phil, fire him. It happens that fast. And those are customers. Oh, like I have straight up fired customers.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like all the years I've been coming in, like, Renee's always been sweet and nice.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
One time I walked in and she was on the phone, and I had never seen that part of Renee.
Oh, yeah,
And somebody had pissed her off on the phone, and she was going on. Like, she was like, and you think you're going to blah, 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 blah.
Oh, just by looking at her, you're like, oh, she's pissed.
Oh, people trying to yell at Renee through a phone?
Yeah.
Forget that she's been next to me for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
If you don't think I love for when somebody thinks they're 9 foot tall and bulletproof on a telephone, I love that. Like, that's my joy of the day is when somebody's like, oh, I'm going to intimidate you through my words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giddy up.
All right. Cool, man. That's great.
I don't get mad until it takes a really lot to get me mad. And so if somebody's like giving me shit at work, like one of my,
Co-workers like John McElfresh.
No, he's not too bad. He's actually
Not
fun.
too bad.
Because I don't mind it. But like, I mean, if an asshole's giving me shit, I have to work myself up before I go crazy.
Okay.
So I let him yell at me, yell at me, and yell at me, and I let all this shit build up in me until I get so crazy that I just take their asshole and just rip it off.
That's it.
And then I feel so much better. I feel so good about myself.
Yeah, that's Renee.
It's a wonderful management style there.
So that right there. So our buddy Tom
boy.
Pennington. I mean,
Doesn't happen very often.
honestly, if you know the ClevelandMoto podcast, you probably know Tom Pennington. But we love Tom. He's down in New Orleans, and
That's a lot of stuff in a really tight box.
that you see the size of that box. Nobody's
Tiny.
ever gonna accuse Renee of not having
Tight,
tight
like a
little
toy.
box.
Tiger.
Yeah, and so if you look, I mean, there's a mug, there's a big ass T-shirt, beer koozies. Like that's a nicely tightly packed box. So so Renee will
And no hair to be seen anywhere.
No, that's that shit.
Settle down. Settle down.
Yeah, that's hardwood floors on that box.
Laser treatments many years ago.
It's just like, does the curtain match the carpet? No, hardwood floors, baby. Yeah, that's it. So, but when you do, look at that. Like, Renee does a great job for our listeners. So for people that do want to do the podcast listener thing and you want to send some money, Renee will be happy to prove to you how much stuff she can fit in her box. So it's kind of fun. We love that stuff, man. It's fun. We have a good time. Anybody got anything else?
Well, I was going to say, like, when you do get one of the boxes, make sure you take a picture of Renee's stuff box to send back to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because up until Tom, that's the first picture of Renee's stuffed box we've ever seen. So that's good. Dan, what you got there, buddy?
I got a Farkle I'm going to pass around and see
Jesus
if anybody
Christ.
knows what it is.
I'm telling you, that's too big for
This
my
is
dick.
for a snow machine. It helps hold your hood on. You use that to...
Oh, okay. It's
Put your
like a
hood on.
Jeep latch hood.
But it is
hood latch.
some sort of latch. I think it comes around here like
I think
this,
it does
right?
go around
Yeah.
that way. Yeah, I
So
think
that
you're
would-
right. It goes
And a
around that way.
handlebar,
So it's
and
a
then
clean...
you.
All right.
Maybe you put this up
For our
on your...
podcast listeners at home,
Put it on your roof rack.
Pass it around. Pass it around.
this is rubber. So it's rubber.
Oh,
It's rubber. It's got straps
Mr.
on it.
Smith,
got
calm down.
It's got a clamp on it of some sort. A
Clamp-on.
Clamps.
It's definitely not a cock ring for John because
I would say
It's way
it's
too
a
small.
go ahead and put it anywhere foot peg. It's a put peg you can put anywhere at all. Kind of what it looks like, but
I think you put it on the rails of your car and it lets you put a piece of
Oh,
plywood
wait,
up
no,
there.
hold on.
right.
So
All right.
this goes around the handlebar.
Does?
And then this goes around whatever you're holding on this. It's like a
Okay.
phone holder. maybe.
all right. Keep
I
going.
think it's like a double-sided phone.
That's pretty robust
says
for
yeah.
being a phone holder.
I think you were
That-
very warm.
Yeah.
But I found
keep
this
going.
website. They're selling this as a Easy Pass holder.
Oh, it's an Easy Pass holder.
Who the fuck goes on the turnpike on a motorcycle?
Yeah,
But
you're
I
right.
just
That's
saw
true.
it and said
Right.
it'd
Phone
be
holder.
good for almost anything.
you know
It's an anything
In
holder.
fact, I want to see if this bottle of booze will fit
Oh my
in
God,
there.
that's such a
for
good
that one.
idea. That's such a
that's
good
actually
idea.
kind of a good idea because if you have like a metal frame
Yeah.
around your windshield,
Yeah.
you put your Easy Pass under that metal frame.
Yeah.
It doesn't read your Easy Pass.
Yeah. Ask Oscar about that
Yeah,
shit. I got in an argument.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
'cause
did
that's
not.
what
I did
happened to
not
me.
win that argument either.
No.
I got accused of improperly displaying my Easy Pass, and I said the
And
bitch is
charging you extra,
The
right?
bitch is in my front window. Where the hell else do you want me to put it?
Yeah.
It cannot be any more in my front window, considering we can all see it from where we're sitting. It is supposed to be affixed to the top of your windshield. And then, so rather than paying like the $3 regular Easy Pass cost to get through Iowa or where the fuck we were, I had to pay the $9. I don't have an Easy Pass price.
And they charge you like $15 for the stupid Velcro to put it up there.
So this thing is designed that if you look, it actually says where it has to be on the motorcycle, and this will put you in compliance.
You know what I will say about this?
That's the
It hurts.
You got to be brave. You got to be brave. You see what color my thumb is?
Orange.
Yeah. That's not natural. Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
It's not a sex toy. That's it.
Oh, it is if you're brave
If
enough.
it was a sex toy, it would cost twice as much.
If you're brave enough.
Right.
Send me the link to
No,
that
I
if you
tried it.
want.
That was the test.
around the head.
I just gave it the sex
Handlebar.
toy test, and that failed.
That clips on.
Yeah. Someday I'll tell you about Mikey Merriman.
Yeah, send me the link if you would.
There you
How
go,
much
on the
is
bottle.
this thing?
So how much was that bottle holder?
Way too much. $25.
Oh my God.
I'll keep my.
Well, I will say
A
this.
little short for this bottle.
Ram mount.
Just
Do it on the
Rip it.
neck.
Don't
Do it on the
rip
neck.
it.
Yeah, Ram mount is more expensive, but what I did
Here,
find
John,
out
you
is
can
you can buy that if you like listening to like a JBL speaker, like a speaker on your thing. There's a thing called the JBL Wind, and it's about the sizes of the pill by like
Yeah.
Beats.
Fucker ain't coming out of there.
But oh no, that is in. No, that's gone.
Is that considered an open container though? On your
No, you have a big straw.
close now. But if you're a motorcycle enthusiast and you want to have music, don't put a stereo system on your bike. Just get a JBL Wind for like under $100, and they will print whatever you want on the front of the
Guess the
JBL
bottle's
Wind.
mine
Like
now.
if you want a picture of your fucking bike on your JBL speaker thing, they'll print it on. Part of the price. But they make, and we have here at the shop, JBL Wind holders.
Oh.
Or
Amateurs over here.
JBL holders. And I think Wind is the round one, and I think the other one is the long, thin,
pretty
the
cool.
flip. The JBL Flip 5. Those fucking things are loud as balls. The battery lasts forever, and you just hang it on your handlebars, and you now have a stereo system on your motorcycle. You do not need to buy, a motorcycle stereo.
My headphones work pretty well.
Yeah.
But I have a Senna and a Cardo,
Yeah.
and I would
Hold
say
anything.
buy the Cardo.
Yeah, the Cardo sounds better than the
Sounds
Senna.
way better.
The Senna does not sound
yeah.
good, but
The controls
Cardo,
aren't as nice.
The Cardo doesn't have a built-in video camera, whereas the Senna
yeah.
has a built-in video camera, but the audio in the Senna is lacking.
Yeah, it
I mean,
doesn't
I
have
have
no bass at all.
I have bad ears, and I can have the Senna turned up max volume.
They have speaker replacements. There's a company that makes like high fidelity speakers that you can plug into them, and
You want good
supposedly it's
noise.
supposed to sound awesome.
My Cardo's always been way better.
Cardo
my
sounds
Cardo's
good,
lasted
yeah.
longer,
Yeah.
and it didn't break. Like the mic broke off the Senna, and
Yeah, the Cardo is definitely better
real thing
audio and
doesn't.
stuff. If Cardo made one that had the built-in video camera the way the Senna does, I'd probably be all over it. Because I do like the idea of having one device that does the video and also does still camera and also does the audio component. So for me, the Senna 10C Pro is better. That's it. That thing's pretty stout. Fuck you, John. What the hell, man?
easy now.
Why you gotta be that guy? Anybody got anything else?
I
That's
got one-
pretty good. I like that, Dan.
So
Badass.
I usually don't recommend podcasts, but this is a fun one that is just like. So this is the official TT podcast.
Yes. Oh, fuck yes.
So they're on episode 3.
Yeah.
They do one a week. It's called the TT podcast.
Yep.
So they start with the last
Yep.
2019's winner.
That's right.
Peter Hickman.
Yep.
135 miles an hour average.
Yep. That's right.
Then they had
Set a new record.
a couple years ago. A couple weeks ago, they had the John McGinnis.
I was going to say, I just listened to the one with McGinnis.
Oh, that was so good.
And so not only was it hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
So now, I mean, Oscar and I have a little bit of insider information when it comes to McGinnis and what a fucking mensch he
matchup.
is. Like the guy is legitimately hilarious.
So this year, it's going to be his 100th start race.
Yeah. He's going to
And he's
start his
starting 50.
100th. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 100th race.
Yeah. Starting in last place.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm very excited to listen to the next episode
Michael
of the
Rudder?
TT podcast because it's going to be Rudder.
Oh,
The
it's so
truth
good.
about my fallout with McGinnis.
Oh, yeah. It's a hilarious
I am
shit, yeah.
absolutely looking forward to that, like to no end, because when we were there in 2019, at the last time they ran the fucking thing, we could tell you that the friendly rivalry between Rudder and McGinnis was everywhere.
And they're both turning 50 this year.
They're both turning 50. So it's really, really a fun thing. They are going to run, the Isle of Man is going to run again this year. So this is going to be the welcome back. They're doing it in a slightly abbreviated format. So it's not going to be the full 2-week adventure that it normally is. They're cutting it back a tiny bit. But it doesn't mean I want to go any less. So none of that has changed my desire to be there.
Is Cleveland Moto going?
We don't know yet. Everything's up in the air. So because Isle of Man usually books out ferries and hotel rooms and everything starting in January.
A year.
Yeah, at least from January till the race event, 6 months. Ferries and stuff scheduled way out in advance. So this year is kind of a weird thing because we just found out that it was happening less than 10 days ago. Yeah. So less than 10 days ago, it's been officially on again. And what's funny is with most of this stuff, there's usually rumor control. And rumor control is like, oh, you know what's going to happen. No, a month ago, people are like, it ain't going to fucking happen. Because it takes longer to get ready for June, first weekend of June. It takes longer to get ready for first weekend of June than middle of February. So there's a real concern. Can they actually get this all put together in such a short period of time between mid-February and beginning of June? Because so much of that event, and we'll be happy to tell you, when you're there and you see what's happening, you realize that these people were preparing for this 11 months and 28 days ago. Yep. Like the day that it's officially done is the day they officially start preparing for next year. And that didn't happen. So it's going to be a tough one. I've had a few of my friends that were like, yeah, I think that people that go every year are like, we're going to take this year off because it's probably going to be not so great. But we've had other people that are like, fuck it, it's been 2 years off. Yeah. We got to go. Yeah. Just because there's going to be a lot of bottled up energy. Yeah. And so I've also said, if you are going to go to the Isle of Man, look for the ice shanties. That's where the prostitutes are.
Hey, to his thing.
Sage words.
What a weird week, because I found a podcast that I can't stop listening now, too. It's called Gypsy Tales. and Gypsy Tales, I don't know what the name means.
Is that white meat or brown meat on a gypsy tail?
No, but basically this guy has access to all these amazing, like, old school MotoGP riders and stuff. So like he was talking to Mickey Dugan about riding the 500.
Dugan?
I can't say his name.
It's Doohan.
Doohan, whatever.
Right, it's Doohan. Mickey Dugan's a British comedian.
Yeah, so Doohan. But anyways, he was talking to him about like the 500cc two-stroke days.
Yeah.
And then like he got to the point where that was fun. But they got to a point about how they ride them how they rode them in the wet.
Yeah.
And how fucking scary it was. Like,
I thought you were going to go in a totally different direction with the name of the podcast. I was like, shit.
It's awesome. And then they were talking to Casey Stoner and how he would like come into
that's called Gypsy Tales?
Gypsy Tales.
Gypsy Tales.
And so like they get like these guys and they go through and like he asks some really relevant, cool questions. And the guys seem really relaxed. Like somehow they know this dude or something because they're really opening up. But like Casey Stoner, like it was a really interesting thing to hear and just how he applied. So like it's like they asked him like, "Are you scared of the speed? You guys were hitting 213 miles an hour, whatever." He goes, "No," because you don't really see the you don't have a speedometer.
You don't
have
a speedometer. I mean,
he's like, you just notice things going by faster. But he goes, what you get scared of is when you know that you have to beat the guy braking, and so like know he's braking now, and you have to go 50 more feet, but then like you have to figure out how you're going to exit that turn.
I'm going to guarantee. I've spent way too much time on racetracks. For me, it has never, ever, not once, ever been how fast I can go in the back straight. No. I have never, ever, ever thought if I can only catch John in the back straight, I can see him.
Right.
I just need to catch him. I'm not catching him in the back straight.
Well,
I'm only going to catch him by doing one thing: 10 turns, harder and more dangerous than he does.
Right.
Yep.
And he was talking how like he I don't know if it was when Valentino Rossi was younger, so they had a big rivalry, but he's like. He had to figure out how to beat in this one turn, the American turn or something, whatever. I don't know. Whatever. But anyways, he figured out that if he threw it into a flat track slide, and nobody had done this before.
Oh, yeah, Stoner.
So he was like throwing the bike sideways.
That's got to be the Stoner interview.
Yeah. And so he was throwing the bike sideways.
First time I saw him do that, I straight up thought, okay, he's going to crash next time he does that.
Yeah, no, but he didn't. He was doing that purposely, and for him, he said once he figured out how to do that, it took the fear away because he knew that. You can't. He said you can't crash when the bike's already sideways.
No. I can prove him wrong.
Absolutely.
I would like to go on record as saying I've done that.
No, but he meant
Sideways is halfway
You
to
can do every kind of crash.
sideways is halfway to backwards, and backwards is definitely eating shit.
No, but I'm saying he was saying in the turn because a lot of guys high-sided. They high-sided in this turn.
Yeah, yeah.
He said so. If you're already sliding and you're this way, it's impossible.
The worst case scenario is a low side.
Yeah.
But there's always the low side where you hook up into a high side. Like, that's my least favorite crash.
Yeah.
I've done that twice. I've had 2 of the world's most beautiful low sides that I wasted by turning them into a high side. Yeah. It was a shitty exchange rate. You'd be like, I would gladly trade 9 low sides for 1 high side. But having a low side that you trade in for a high side is the dumbest thing you can do in motorcycling.
Did you come out with both shoulders?
Well, so I've had this particular shoulder. So for people who know how to ride motorcycles, they'll know that this particular shoulder is a right-handed high side.
Right.
So when you're in a right-hander, which is my worst, and I can left-hander because I think that's where they put the side stands. So because like motorcycles just naturally want to lean to the left.
Yeah.
And if you know my politics, I kind of lean to the left anyway. But the idea was
Plus NASCAR.
I could straight up, I will put a bike on the ground in a left turn.
Yeah.
But on a right-hand side turn, I never get the trust. Like me and the motorcycle never hook up. When we go out ice racing, what way did I turn?
Left.
Okay, exactly. The ice worked right.
Yeah.
Or
I
the
tried.
chicken strips this big on the one side.
Yeah,
this big on the
exactly.
other side, so
But straight up, given my options, I will always turn left.
Did you mentioned NASCAR? Did you see the race last week?
Yeah.
They put it inside of a fucking basketball court. It was
I'm
like
sorry, what?
fucking-
that was bullshit.
They put
Short
the
track
first
racing.
NASCAR race inside the Coliseum in California, like inside of it.
No.
The track itself,
quarter mile long.
the whole track was a quarter mile.
I mean, I've done some
a joke.
I've done some eighth mile oval racing.
Right.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah, and these were
That's small.
NASCARs.
And you've done it on cola syrup.
Oh my God. I haven't. He did. He did
Yeah,
that.
he
Cola
did
syrup.
it, yeah.
I've never
I
done
saw
it.
that.
We got to do some cola syrup
I've never done
racing,
it
you
on
know?
cola syrup. But you know what? After I've done it on ice now,
Oh, yeah.
I feel better about Coke syrup.
You know what sucks though is that you guys were getting really pretty.
Used to
fast.
have that thing up there on the wall.
Yeah, it's up there. It's still over there. That's the Sleepy Cinch Memorial Flat Out Friday.
Oh, yeah.
When Sleepy went out there and managed to
represented.
make us all.
Are we doing that again?
If they bring
The
it
next,
back,
if they
I
bring it
would,
back,
yeah.
right?
Oh, then fuck them. We'll do it ourselves.
Now that the Rona's over, there's not enough Coke in the world.
Oh,
Don't you-
John's got Coke right here.
Don't even try that shit in my shop. You want ants? That's how you get ants.
John. Jeez,
So I'm sorry. Is the Gypsy Tales podcast, is that video or audio?
They have clips on YouTube.
Okay, all right.
And so like they have like you can see the guys sitting there and talking, but they
Yeah.
only give you like little segments.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but you get that. But it's really good, man.
I don't know anybody who would sit and watch an entire fucking podcast.
Poor son of a bitch.
Fucking crazy.
Click the
people.
People lose
subscribe
interest
button.
after about 10 minutes of this stuff.
Like and subscribe.
Oh my God. I don't want to look at our fucking analytics and shit and be like, okay, Cleveland Moto podcast. Okay, they've done 9 million episodes and the average watch time is 37 seconds. Okay, cool.
I listen to podcasts to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it lasts like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So I just
get
got
that.
pinged back on a 1993 Beta Zero
Oh, yeah, beta.
for
Rock on,
$800
dude.
bucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's down in Tiffin.
Really? Okay.
Go get it.
Yeah.
You buy me lunch.
Get it up.
I mean,
hold on.
I'm not gonna lie to you. 1983 beta.
93.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought you said 1983. I was like, man, that's gonna be garbage. But
But a 93, for
Trials
Christ's sake,
bike.
that's
it
great.
should be 260 cc's.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's
2
big
strokes.
because my shirt goes big motor like that. But it is that's not my shirt goes across. You
Yeah,
could
yeah.
street
No, this
legal
is-
it off. This is
this
purely
Does it have a seat or no seat?
Not really.
well. It's a painted part of the bike.
it's a painted part of the fender.
It's
slash gas tank.
essentially fender gas tank all in one thing,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
they paint a little part black to be like it looks like a seat.
Right.
Yeah.
In case you have to sit down on the trail
Right.
getting to the
Yeah.
trail.
But okay, here's what I can tell you. If it's completely fuckered, it's going to cost you about $120 to rebuild the top end.
Right.
Can't
It
mess-
runs. This guy says it runs. It needs some work.
Yeah, well, I mean,
To me, that means a carb plane.
it might need any damn thing, right? I mean, it literally.
It was complete.
Yeah,
Ranman Park.
I got to think.
Yeah.
I mean, I just have to think that
It doesn't look
one,
like a pretzel.
there's no shortage of parts for them.
Yeah.
So it's an easy bike to keep on the road. I like trials bikes. They're a lot of fun. I'm no
Sure,
good
that
at it.
you could probably take that down to Mid-Ohio and make a couple bucks. on
Dude,
it.
there's this guy I know named Brad Obadowski. And like, if he sat right next to you right now, you'd be like, this dude fits in. He's built like us. He looks like us. He smells like us. I've taken him drinking. He drinks
Smells
like
like
us.
us.
He's great, except for the differences. He can ride the fuck out of a trials bike. And I go to his Facebook page all the time. He runs a shop in Nebraska called HVC Cycle.
I love Nebraska, by the way.
Runs us.
One of my favorite states in the union.
Runs us.
Always windy.
Runs us.
I am.
What's their favorite sandwich in Nebraska?
Runzas.
I have gone to a Runzas. In fact, I think we were traveling and you sent me a text message and
Yeah.
just said Runzas. I was like, fuck it, we'll go to Runzas. Because I saw a Runzas. I was like, I'm just going to go. It's a burger joint. I mean, it's
something.
yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's exactly right. It is
What
a thing.
about come and goes?
A little bit more south, but yeah, I totally agree. Same thing. But the my buddy Brad Obadowski, if we were out here hanging out, you'd just be like, okay, he's just another one of us assholes. There's no doubt about it. But to see this guy ride a fucking trials bike, you're like, oh my God, he never puts his foot down. He's been riding it since he's 13 years old, never put his foot down. It's fucking awesome. And I'm going to pull the picture up on the thing, and you tell me if this guy doesn't look like he could hang out with us. Because he is literally not the tall guy. No, not the tall guy. The other guy. How is he not here with us right now? Brad Obadowski is one of our people. I met him. He's a zero dealer and super nice. But his shop is called HVC Cycle. And do you know what they do? 2-strokes. RDs, RZs, they, H2s, H1s. Their shop, HVC Cycle, lives... There he is. I can't do that. Can you do that?
Damn.
Do you see that thing he's up against on the front wheel?
Yep.
That's called a rock. And it's bigger than his wheel. And his back wheel's even in the air. I don't even know how to get a motorcycle into that position without crashing it.
I'd say I'm going
We've
to
done
be
plenty of
shit.
stoppies.
That picture for me is usually mid-crash. But no, that's just him just doing his thing, whatever he normally does. So that's Brad. So if you're in the Nebraska area and you love yourself some 2-strokies, if you love 2-strokes,
What town Nebraska's in?
let's find out. I think he's in the big one.
The big town?
Yeah.
Omaha? Omaha's
No,
the
I
biggest
think he's
town.
in
Lincoln?
Lincoln's the capital. Yeah, I think he's in Lincoln. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it says Lincoln.
He's in Lincoln.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah, and they're Sherco. Yeah, like they're a straight up Sherco dealer. Like they're the business right there. So if you're into some cool old kickety ass 2-strokes,
That's cool.
yeah. And but anyway,
So I speaking of like trials and things like
Yeah.
that, I kind of went back and kind of looked at the stunt scene like currently, like what's going on with it and stuff. And has there been any progression or anything?
yeah,
Dude, these
shooting
guys,
kids out of cannons these days.
Dude, these kids, they're
all
doing
a
a
movie.
thing. It's basically moto vaulting, and so like you'll have a bar that goes across the parking lot, and they come in on a stoppie, and then they roll this way, and then they flip the bike
Yeah.
like that, and then land on the back wheel
Yeah.
and take off on a wheelie. But they're doing it over a bar
Over a
that's
bar
being
yeah.
raised
Oh
constantly.
yeah. Oh yeah.
What the
Reverse
fuck,
limbo.
man?
It's
Yeah.
the stoppie into a wheelie.
Yeah, but like jumping the
I
bike
know.
over a fucking
again.
stick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they come this way,
Yep.
and then
I'm completely 100% convinced I'm going to do that one time.
And one time only.
How's that insurance plan going?
Yeah.
Because I've done it accidentally the backwards way. So if you do it the backwards way, that's when you're going to do the cool hockey stop skid.
Yeah.
When your friends are sitting around drinking, you're like, oh, check this out. I'm going to cook it in a little hot. So I'm going to cook it in a little hot. I'm cooking a little hot. Grab the rear brake way ahead of time. Smoosh the rear brake down as hard as it'll go. Hockey stop that bitch all the way in. Slide about 27 and a half feet. Side stand down. Step off the bike.
Yeah.
Perfect. And that's when you put all that into effect, but you only slide about 21 feet. And then you do that high side thing we were talking about earlier
Yep.
in front of all your friends.
I
That usually costs you a right brake lever, a front brake lever, a little bit of plastic on the side, maybe a turn signal.
Maybe a wrist.
How
Maybe
many
your
brake
wrist.
purges have you gone through on your SSR? Are you up to 4?
two.
Only two.
Two. But I was gonna say, back when I was in the RC industry, I was sent to a big helicopter event to make noise about the new website we were doing called
okay.
Crack Roll.
Right.
They said, go hang out with people if you want to spend money on beer, whatever.
Right.
I was like, what? You had me at spend money on beer. Yeah. So I went to Kmart and I bought like a 50-gallon drum or a thing. Like they have the.
You mean when Chris
toes.
Franklin showed up at our spot in
yeah.
Ohio? Yeah, right.
And then I
Exactly.
bought like 15 cases of beer and all this stuff. And then I had the golf cart, so I was driving around just handing people beer. Hey,
Yeah.
check out Crack
Yeah,
Roll,
of
have a
course.
beer, whatever.
Yeah.
And so there's there's a group of about 10 or 12 cars parked in a semicircle, and everybody's
Didn't have
kind
any
of
prostitutes, did you?
No prostitutes.
all right.
But they were all having like a party, hanging out. And I didn't realize that the sun had gone down and the dew had come up.
I hadn't realized the sun went down.
No, it was going down. You know what I mean? Like I didn't realize how much it had gone down.
And the dew has come up.
Right.
And long ago,
Because it was
everyone
dark,
left for
but the sun,
but they're running.
the sun was still on.
It was dark. It was dark somewhere.
I just made that up.
Okay, but anyways, so just like you were talking about, I wanted to come in and be cool.
He's going for Steve.
But I wanted to be cool, like you're saying. So I just floored this golf cart, and in my brain, I had this all planned out.
It looked cool, didn't it?
Slide sideways. Slide in there, stop right there, beer's right there.
Right.
Hey, guys, what's up, right?
Yeah.
So I go in, the dude made it slick. So I'm doing like 30 miles an hour. I hit in there, and I fling it sideways. And now I have no control. I am fully sliding sideways. And I realize that I'm going to overshoot everybody there, and now the cars are concerned. And
You're
I'm
going to
like,
overshoot
no.
everyone there by a week and a half.
Yeah.
Hey.
So I go, the cart finally stops. The whole thing of beer flies out. And you know, like what were they called? Remember the station wagon that was cool? Like everybody had to have one a while ago?
No.
Like a Dodge station wagon. It was like the
Magnum.
Magnum.
Yeah.
It was like the year that came out, a brand new Magnum sitting there. The beers tipped over in all the beer cans. It was like it got shot with a shotgun. It was like fucking rattled all the way down the guy's whole car.
And there you go.
Like,
Everybody has a great plan. And I'm going to warn you that the plan is the first thing that goes out the window.
Yeah.
Right.
First
the plan,
casualty of war.
all you got to know is the more you plan, the more it hurts when the plan leaves.
To this guy's credit, he was so excited about the 400 beers I brought.
Yeah.
That he was like, I'll just tell insurance something happened. So that worked out.
Game on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Hey, by the way, AMA Vintage Days. Can't stop talking about it.
Nope.
I already rented our spot.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
They opened it. They said it's
Nice.
okay. So they said it.
Nice.
So I got our vendor spot.
Okay.
I liked our spot last year. So I got a new vendor spot. So I got the exact same spot we had last year. Getting a
Nothing wrong
spot
with that.
getting a spot on high ground against that fence, is
fence,
hard
yep.
to do.
Right near an opening.
Right near an orifice. And I mean, it's a good orifice to be nearby because getting in and out of our spot was
perfect.
simple last year. It was easy. Oscar and I made many trips taking various bikes up there, including your big ass fucking concourse.
Yep.
BAC.
Oh, dude, that big ass concourse. Because you had to go through a lot of off-road sections, special sections, to get to the swap meet.
Yeah.
So when we're going up there, it's like,
Built the crabble.
oh yeah, like serious monkey head gravel and shit on a concourse.
Concourse loves that stuff.
Oh yeah, that was
Especially with
awesome.
that full tank up on
Full
top.
tank of gas on the top, some bags, all kinds of extra shit. But being able to have that spot in the swap
Way
meet.
easier.
So if you go on right now, I'm going to give you guys a little tip from your Unkie Phil. If podcast listeners who have never done Mid-Ohio before, if you are like, well, I want to get there on Thursday. Look, unless you leave one sleepy cinch there, you're not going to get there a day early. Nope. And we may not be able to do that again.
We have to pull some finagling.
Yes. But, and this is a giant but. But if you get a spot, if you get a vendor's booth, you are literally the first people allowed there. You can get in prior to the people who even race motorcycles for a living. Yep. So the vendor's booth gives you priority.
Well, and what was the other tip? If you really you're not a vendor, just sign up for one of the racing things. It's only $40.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
So
That's what they're
let's
saying.
talk about that, boys.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say, would it be wrong? Sleepy, can you reach behind you? There's some cardboard boxes. No. Just 2 boxes. Or Hoffert, you can grab them. You just need one. I just need one of them. And if you can just pass the box to your left. So would it be wrong if we decided to field a team? What does it cost to join the Hare Scramble?
I think it's $40.
It's $40.
Yeah. And then you can get in Wednesday?
Thursday. Yeah. So John and I were talking about this a while ago. So what John's got there in his tasty box, open them up. They're fun. So everything that you need in that kit is all of the requisite components to make an SSR into a night fighting vehicle. So SSR has put together, yep, you got it. So this is the SSR SR125
Light kit.
lighting kit.
Perfect.
Yeah. And
That's got some weight to a little chonky.
If you want to have some fun, there's a 12-volt battery over there. You can hook it to that and make us all fucking blind. Because that thing is not screwing around. That headlight kit is made by Blitz Pro. It is not China's finest, fakey, we don't know who made it kind of thing. It is a straight up real brand name crazy fucking deal. But
we're going to lose this part of the box.
So this is about $120 in 120 Freedom units. And you'll see everything that's in there is everything that you need to go ahead and make your SSR 125 into a night fighting vehicle.
I like the connector.
Now they also have this for the 70cc, and they also have for this to 110 as well.
Is it plug and play?
Well, yeah, bullet connectors. Well, no, you have to splice them in, but
right. So, but the whole idea behind it is that as everything you need in the kit for
as far as I know, there's 2 wires underneath your gas tank. You plug that rectum fryer in.
Absolutely.
Mount it somehow. And
yeah, that's exactly right. So I haven't put one on yet. You'll notice that I've got some hand guards over there. So I got some tester hand guards. I know that people, it's very, very easy, and I get it. It's very, very easy to hate on these economically priced Chinese motorcycles.
You can't.
Go ahead.
Does that mean we're gonna have night ice racing?
It's colder at night.
Ice racing?
Oh yeah.
The ice is totally going to be harder after 5 p.m. than it is before 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, I can come.
That's Dan's dream.
Wait, it's not 1 a.m.
I can actually get there right after my wake up time.
Jeez.
I'll set my alarm clock for 4 p.m. So, but yeah, there's so anyway,
That's
but
pretty cool.
I have to say, I
Are you
know.
trying to get Dan up in the middle of his night?
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay. I will tell you, I am guilty as anybody at this table. I have talked mad shit about Chinese stuff. I have. And I will still talk mad shit about Chinese stuff. But I will not talk mad shit about an SSR. My SSR has not broken. The chain hasn't broken. The sprockets haven't broken. The suspension hasn't broken. The handlebars haven't broken. The clutch hasn't broken. The brakes haven't broken.
And it's got torque coming out the ass.
Yep.
And we've ridden them in mud,
It will
rain,
do wheelies.
snow, ice.
It'll do wheelies with me over 200 pounds on ice.
Yeah.
It must be okay.
And it's on video. It's provable.
And it's not the first weekend we've had it.
No.
And I keep throwing stupidity at it.
Yeah.
And it keeps going, more please.
Yeah.
Right? Is that all you've got, sir?
There's a ton of hours on mine because
Exactly.
everybody at the plant rides it everywhere.
It's the
there's a
town.
ton of weight on mine. Yeah. You think yours is bad? My poor little guy's been all in my ass.
Trevor wrecked it.
Twisted it right into the ground.
So as much as people are like, well, I don't know, it's $1,500. Is it good? Is it going to be good quality? Is it going to be even to like a TTR 125 that's 8 years old?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
Again, some people would complain about any goddamn thing. But what I can tell you is absolutely fucking real is that the people sitting around this table can tell you that those machines are born again hard. They're solid as fuck, man.
We got a good batch.
Yeah, okay, I'm sure that's what it was. Yeah, because
well assembled.
Yeah,
you haven't even,
I was going to say,
mine.
his still isn't done being built yet.
yours.
He hasn't even finished the contest yet. Right. So
I'm going for a couple years.
There are still people building them.
We need to give Hoff a few extra shots
when
here.
we do talk about
as penalties.
Jeez.
And I'm not kidding.
Years ago.
So, guys, if you are out there in the world and you're thinking like, I would like to have a play bike. I'd like to have something silly. I'd like to have something stupid.
There you go.
Okay. 1, don't buy the Vader Grom fakery.
The Taos.
Get a TNT 135. Get a Benelli. I'm sorry. Yeah, get a Benelli TNT 135. They are amazing. They are extremely well built. They are crazy good, and they cost way less than a Grom.
Now, but here's a pro tip, though.
Go ahead. Pro tip. We like pro tips.
Get on Facebook and join one of the fake Grom communities.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then when you find a Z50 or a Honda Trail 70 or something with a blown motor for $30, all the guys that get these Groms, they're throwing in 190s and they're throwing in things. So they have like a 125 motor with 5 seconds on it.
Oh.
that they sell for $100. You can
Perfect.
get them all day long for $100.
So you're getting their cast offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
All right.
like as you saw
because
with my
because when they buy the Tao, the first thing they do is shit can the motor
and put a 190
and go to a 190
because
kit.
they want to go 80 miles an hour
Got it.
on a
Right.
Chinese Grom.
Right.
But if you can imagine, so like you obviously if it's running, now Z50 is $66,000.
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
a lot of them aren't, and a lot of them are just frames or the motor's blown or something. So for $100,
I got a guy trying to give me a Cub 90 right now. Give me.
Yeah.
I just got to come there and pick it up. So that's true. So that's a very interesting thing.
Easy now. Calm down.
I'm already excited about it. What year is it? 73 or something?
It's real old. All right. But then we talked about, we love our little SSRs. But the funny thing was, that's the most fun accessories, making darkness into light.
Yeah.
But for people that have little rugrats, running around the house,
All right.
beside this, we had Oscar test this today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
So this thing, usually, right, has anybody ever put training wheels on their kid's vehicle?
Yeah, and it sucks.
Yeah.
That shit's sketchy as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I'm going to show you something you can't do on your kid's bicycle. Ready? You can't do this. I'm 200 plus pounds. 210 battle ready.
So for the listeners that are not watching, Phil
Yes.
was standing on
That's a
this.
quality unit there.
On the pegs of the
Yeah. So that's a SSR 70 with
trainer
electric
wheels
start,
on the sides.
so that you don't have to start your kid's bike 9,000 times tomorrow.
But it's logical too because
Yeah.
training wheels are always way in the back.
Yep.
yes.
Which gives you no balance.
Yep.
And those are right in the center.
They're right in the middle where
where
they
the
should
pegs,
be.
where the pegs
Right.
are. Yeah.
They're almost impossible to flip the bike over. And they move the foot pegs down onto the training wheels to give the kid a good center of gravity.
Can you put those on my Goldwing?
Anybody who wants is welcome to get on here because these are specifically designed for this bike.
Yeah.
Your 70-pound kid is not going to do what your 70-pound kid did to the PW50 with training wheels on it.
Right.
This is legit. And I'm so impressed by yet another somewhat stupid thing that SSR did to be able to bring children that are 4 years old into the world of motorcycling.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's well
That's
thought out.
very
It's
cool.
well thought out.
Automatic transmission, electric start, jump on there. You got training wheels. To me, I've taught a lot of kids how to ride bicycles, right?
And as soon as you load the suspension, you're
Yeah.
on four wheels.
You're on four wheels. So when
Because
you-
right now it's on three
Right.
because
Yeah.
so the whoop.
So here's what's crazy is I've taught a lot of little kids how to ride bicycles, and it's dangerous. Training wheels are dangerous. Training wheels do not make
On the
it
back
safer.
tire? Fuck yeah.
They make it more dangerous. This actually makes it safer.
Mm-hmm.
So for a kid who's just learning and everything else, this is a great way to do it. And for under $1,200,
Better than a sidecar.
I might have a grandson I can hurt with this thing.
these things are really, really clever. And, the training wheels, this is like, we've been waiting for these training wheels for a long time because
Yeah, it's very
they
cool.
really did a good job on
I
them.
really like it.
So I was really impressed. If you've got a kid, grandkid, or somebody like that, the SSR 70, I think they make the training wheels for the 70, maybe even the 110. I don't think if you're in a 110, you probably don't need training wheels. But for the 70 for sure,
That makes sense.
I took it around the parking lot. I'm not a little kid. It works great.
Can we mount them to the 125 for drinking wheels at Mid-Ohio?
The first thing when James put the first set of these on, James is like, I think for your ice bikes, you might need these.
Oh, that's a good
Holy
idea too.
shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, that's not a bad
And
idea.
then the lights.
Oh, and put
Yeah.
skis on them instead of fucking the wheels.
I say bend them out like this. So that so when you're waiting,
Yeah.
like,
So you could have just enough lean.
Yeah, but if we put skis on them instead of the
Yeah.
fucking wheels, that would be dope.
I got to tell you,
done.
I very rarely look. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
you're gonna catch one of those fucking holes that we have in there and just do a
whoop,
fucking
screw it right
360.
around. But
This looked like Mid-Ohio
if
wheels,
anybody
too.
if anybody wants to say it, like, look, he's a dealer. He's just promoting shit he sells and whatever.
Oh, that's
I'll be the
cool.
first one to tell you, the SSR Rascal, right? The SSR Rascal. Do not buy that piece of shit. Okay, there you go. I'm telling you guys straight up. Don't buy it. Okay, don't buy it. We had them here. We tried them. We tested them out. We don't sell them anymore. We will continue to sell shit we believe in. There's probably 11 bikes from Kimco that we don't sell. There's a couple of bikes from Genuine that we don't sell. Right. There's several bikes from SSR that we don't sell. But what I am telling you is when it comes to the SSR 70, comes the SSR 110, comes the SSR 125, fucking hard ass buy on that. Like you can't get hurt on this shit. This stuff.
Oh, you can get hurt. You just can't.
You can't hurt it.
Yeah.
And if you did, and my new thing here at the shop is if somebody comes in and is like, oh, I broke the chain on my SSR. I'm like, then you never adjusted the chain on your SSR, right? You did break it. You actually physically broke
another
it.
thing. Here's you want another quick pro tip that's not necessarily pro, but whatever.
No,
So these things, it's real easy just to throw this in the garage at the end of the day and forget about it, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Don't even worry about any high-tech bullshit. Get the $1.99 Walmart fucking little spray oil lube and just fucking shoot the chain when you're done.
Oh, yeah.
When you guys finished on Sunday and you left, I shot all your bikes.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Well, just because it's like, I mean, that's what breaks. These chains aren't great, but they're very strong. But I think if you neglect them.
It must be a great chain because I have broke 0 of them.
Right. But what I'm saying, though, is
that's the definition of a great chain.
I think it's the kind of chain, though, that if you let it get a little rusty, it's fucked.
It's a 420 chain, which is probably more chain than the bike needs.
Yeah, but that's why they don't break.
A 420 or a number 40, depending on what side of the world you live on. And it's 102 links, so it's a little longer than most of the pit bike chains because these have a longer swinger.
Right.
Okay.
That's why it's hard to wheelie.
When you buy the bike, when you're just going to buy chain, like straight up buy bulk chain, either buy bulk chain and buy like a whole lot of it and then get some master links, because for this a master link's going to be fine. You're more likely to put a riveted chain on incorrectly than you are to have a master link clip chain fail on you, right? So like for every person that's ever had a clip style chain fail for them, I would venture to say there are 20 people that had a rivet-on chain fail because they didn't know what they were doing when they installed it. They didn't put it on right. So it actually, on this application, I'd say go right ahead with the clip chain.
I have a question too.
Sure, fire away.
I'm not about that, but I saw those new. You had the BV400.
The BV400S has arrived.
I think that's a beautiful scooter.
It is a beautiful bike.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's a gorgeous scooter. It's a beautiful bike, and it has a lot of very interesting features about it.
Anything like majorly improved from the 350?
Yeah. So it's got a massive horsepower boost. So these things rear wheel at 35 horsepower. So that's fucking cool. They're very powerful. It's a very powerful bike. It's not screwing around. There's a picture of it up there, but there's also 2 of them here in the building with us. We just shot a basic video teaching people how the basics of how to use it and stuff like that. It comes in orange, it comes in gray, it comes in black. It's your typical big wheeled scooter. I've had a BV350. How fast do you think your BV500 was?
No, 110.
110 miles an hour, right? So ease 110 miles per hour, the BV500. This is supposed to be 106.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so it's 106 miles per hour on this one. I've had a BV350 up to about 95. So they're not bullshit. I mean, these are fast bikes.
Yeah.
By any standard, it's a very fast scooter.
Like comfortable highway. Like not
very
like,
comfortable.
Oh shit, I'm on a highway on a scooter.
No, they're stable as a rock.
Yeah.
They're extremely stable. But I think some of the cool things about this is very techy. So this has got like the no key fob kind of thing, which some people love, some people hate. It's fine. It's got a very, very smart dashboard. It's not like a video screen, like, play Star Wars on it and shit, but it has a lot of details. So it has a lot of information, gives you a lot of data. And it also does work with an app. So if you want too much information, you can work with the app. And that also has a mapping function and some like find my bike stuff and other things like, I don't know where my bike went. Well, if you have the app, your bike can tell you where it is.
I can't believe that's not a standard feature on almost every motorcycle right now.
Look, in the city of Cleveland, the best way to steal a car that you want to steal is to put like an Apple tile, like an Apple, what do they call those?
The tile.
The little Apple tile. Look, that's me. Tile right now is thanking me for using their term tile with the Apple, whatever it is. But it's like the Apple chip or whatever the fuck it is. But
tag, I think.
Apple tag.
Yeah.
So like that's a big thing right now is people are like, I just got home from, being out at the bar and I was looking at the back of my Porsche and I realized there was a Apple tag stuck to it. Yeah, they're coming to steal your car tonight. Here's something fun. Call an Uber, get in the back seat of the Uber, put the Apple tag in there and say, oops, you know what? I decided I'm not going anywhere. And then the people who thought they were going to come and steal your Porsche are going to be chasing that Uber around all night. Right. It's going to be fun. But that's a big thing right now. And you're right. Why doesn't every motorcycle just, for as cheap as it is,
right?
Because I know a tag, like I use the tiles for my stuff. A tile's like under $30.
Right, and I mean, like if they installed it and hardwired into the bike,
Right.
I'd happily pay $6 a month to have that service or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're not expensive, but it is a cool thing that just kind of lets you know all the time, you know. And I have, I lost a rental car once.
That's too
And
bad.
I had 5 people in the car with me, and none of us knew where it was. We straight up thought it had been raptured up. Like it was like we just had no idea where that fucking car was, man.
And you were at Porco.
No, I was in Florida, but it was like it was with Porco
Porco
people.
crew, yeah.
I was gonna say it was with Porco people, but like we found it, and most of it was in a handicap spot. So I give myself 4 stars. It was pretty solid, and
I'll give you 3.
It was in one piece too. Yeah, it was all in one spot. It was all in one piece, but it was kind of a half in a
Have
spot.
you disabled the porn?
No, just regular porn, you sick fuck. But the BV400S is in here. Like, it's something that it is demonstrably
You
better
sick fuck.
than the old BV350, which I love the BV350.
Yeah, it
that's
seems like
like
a nice bike.
that's like my Mexico jam. Steve Bailey and Robot, they all hook when we go down there, and I get look when I'm out of town and somebody gives me anything better than a Buddy 125, I'm your friend for life.
Yeah.
And when they handed me the keys to a BV350, I was like, oh. And we were in Mexico, so I was the only person that could go more than 100 miles on a tank of gas.
Now, does the BV400 still retain the wet clutch?
So it does. So it runs the whole same system. So it runs the slipper clutch, or what they call the long life transmission. So that's a cool feature of the BV350 that makes it through to the BV400. And that clutch, like that transmission system in that bike is fucking amazing.
How do you think that bike? How do you think the BV400 compares to the AK550?
Yeah, it's a different animal. The AK550 is a speed demon, 126 miles per hour.
Right, but I'm like okay, so
It's a different. It's got small. It's got bigger.
You know what? I
wheels.
think that this is like comparing a ST1100 to a Hayabusa.
oh really? That different? Okay.
They're both amazing bikes.
Yeah.
They'll both put you in jail in any state in the union, but they have totally different personalities. And so I think that, and if you guys take a look inside the shop here, we have the new color AK550 that Chris Franklin is going to be very upset about.
Ooh.
Because I think the brand new color AK550 is the color Chris Franklin wishes his bike was.
Trade-in?
Because
He'll probably buy the
he keeps
plastic.
buying accessories for it that are the color of the brand new one that just came out. So the old AK550 came in your choice of flat gray or less flat gray.
Yeah.
And now it comes in this really pretty color blue and also black. But
I
anyway.
thought you were going to say even lesser flat gray.
Right. yeah, that's it. It's more of a leather gray, not a ball gag gray. It's somewhere in between, riding
gimp
crop gray.
Is it a
it's
gimp
gimp
gray?
gray.
Gimp
That's
gray,
right. It's 50 Shades of Gray. Yeah, that was our whole game about the Piaggio, the Vespa 300 lineup. What color is it? Oh, it comes in 50 Shades of Gray. Yeah. Yeah, if you're an executive from Europe with too much money and more than one riding crop, you probably have a GTS 300 HPE. So that's that. Anybody else got anything else?
How about a joke?
How about a joke?
Joke.
You got no goddamn jokes.
I got nothing.
You got no jokes.
Nothing.
Chris, could you
Nothing.
I just want to hear you talk a little bit.
Bullshit.
I got
Wait a
nothing.
second.
I think he's about speaking in cursive.
Oh, wait a second. I want to
He's
know.
been secretly
Speaking
soaking
in
it down
cursive.
Wait a second.
Yeah, easy for you to say.
He came into the shop today and he put a license plate on the bike. That's
On
not
which
that-
bike?
On your TNT 135 that you got for
Benelli,
Christmas, your
yeah, the
Benelli.
Christmas bike.
Right. So tell us about that, because you got a vanity plate.
Oh.
It says Farge, Farge.
Is that like no farging way?
Trump.
No.
Okay. All right.
Austin Powers, number 2. Mike Myers, his father is the Farger.
Oh, the
Ah,
Fasha.
And so my kids,
Oh, I
Yeah,
I understand
so
it now. I understand it now. It's his Faja.
it says Faja. I don't speak freaky dicky Dutch.
That's what we always say. Is it tight?
Oh, sure.
Toy.
Toy like a Troika.
So my kids were dicking around for a long time, calling me the Farger,
Yeah,
which got abbreviated down to Farge. And then Mrs. Smith, the father is Farge, so the mother is
Marge.
Marge. Yeah. So they wanted me to get a vanity plate, so I got the Farge. Yeah, the Farge.
That's pretty
And believe it or not, nobody else in Ohio stole it.
What?
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
I got a dirty joke for you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I bet I can tell you something that will make you happy and sad at both at the exact same time.
I like it. I like it.
I know where this is going.
Your dick is bigger than your brother's. And when your wife tells you that, be on the lookout. Yeah.
I did. Hey, I did something. I did something. I made Mrs. Smith smile.
Yeah.
And cheer loudly for the first time in over 10 years. Chris said.
Oh. Yeah.
He was happy. He was like, I haven't seen her that happy in so long. Thank you for stopping over. It was great.
It was better than roses on your piano.
Tulips on your organ.
You bring her tulips?
Did you hear about the naked guy that broke into church?
No.
He ran around. The cops finally caught him by the organ.
We got 1 million of them.
I gotta say. So that's it. Anybody got anything else? Oh, fuck it. All right, cool. We'll put up a little link in the thing for the new hats, the new ClevelandMoto hats. If you want to just buy one a la carte, you can buy one a la carte. You don't need to actually sign up.
Hey, how was that Mrs. Smith's Irish cream?
Really
good.
How would you rate that on a scale of 9 to 10?
I was going to say, how free do you feel right now?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to America, how free do you feel?
It's easy for you to
This is
say.
really good.
It's really
This
good.
is delicious.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, the recipe.
It's a hard 3.
It's very funny right here because in one podcast, strike that, in one live podcast, we've gone from drinking bourbon out of plastic cups to like leaded glass and actual fancy balls.
Yes.
So we all now have ice spheres.
Yes.
So like, so some phantom podcast listener, and I do not know who it was, sent me a dozen black balls.
Well done.
Yeah, a dozen,
Nicely
a dozen
done.
black balls. So some podcast
Thank
listeners
you.
sent me 1 dozen black Glenmorangie whiskey ice cube spheres. The silicone ones. And you fill them with water and put them in your freezer and they make ice cube balls. And so some podcast listener, we don't know who it
That's
was.
pretty cool.
But if you were the one that sent it,
Nicely done.
anonymous gifts. So we love anonymous gifts. That's awesome. Aside from that, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, well, Victoria's Secret apparently has invaded our podcast.
Renee, what have you been looking at?
I like those bullets that you.
Oh yeah, they work. They
Those
work.
were awesome.
Oh, we got Ice Cube. Steve gave us
thank
all
you.
bullets for putting in everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yep. So how can you tell that diarrhea is hereditary? Because it runs in your genes. Ride fast and take chances. Press the red button.